Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half-off margs and $1 off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart.
Welcome into Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Today we are here in Cleveland, Ohio at FirstEnergy Stadium to take in the Faceoff on the Lake between number 4 Michigan Wolverines and the number 10 Ohio State Buckeyes. Welcome into the pregame show. My name is Matt Kendig. Alongside me to my left is Zachary Rodier. On my right is Tyler Danburg. And boys, we've got a good one in store today in Cleveland.
It's going to be a great game, Matt, and I'm excited. It's just the atmosphere and everything around it. You're thinking about right now, Ohio State and Michigan are expecting around 50,000 people here at FirstEnergy Stadium, and they have a great setup right now. They have Ohio State and Michigan on the touchdown areas. They have Ohio State and the Block M as well. And they did a great job on the ice here. And it's going to be a great game of spectacle with a lot of fans. The weather's looking great. And as well, it's just going to be a great rivalry. It always is. And that's what we're expecting on the ice. Because at the end of the day, Tyler, it's 3 points on the line.
That it is, Zach. I mean, this is going to be an awesome experience, but this is no exhibition. A lot of implications right now. There's about a 1 point difference in the Big Ten standings right now looking at Michigan State. They got the win last night, and they did it in regulation looking at Ohio State. They got the shootout win. They got 2 points, but that was all. So now they trail by a point for that third spot in the Big Ten. So a lot of great implications that come into today's game.
And with only one more weekend to go before we start finalizing standings and get ready for the Big Ten tournament coming up here, these are most important games coming down the wire. But these are teams that know each other. Like you said, Zach, this is a long history, big rivalry between these two squads. First time they played was back in 1964, and Michigan's got the lead on the Buckeyes lately. All time, they're 92, 50, and 14 against the Buckeyes, and it'll be exciting here. They're 6-3 on neutral sites. And Zach, what does Ohio State have to do here today to get the ship righted against the Wolverines?
And first of all, they're still looking for their first ever outdoor win, are the Ohio State Buckeyes. So they want that really badly today. And I think, Matt, it's same of what happened on Thursday. They had great forecheck. They were out shooting the Michigan Wolverines by a big margin, which is something we see all the time with the women's hockey team too. And that's the type of Buckeye hockey that they like to have with both programs right now. And if they can continue to outshoot and have those opportunities, I think Ohio State's going to be in a big position. But the big key as well, the power play. Ohio State head coach Steve Rock always says, what wins you games are your special teams. And while the Buckeyes were perfect on the penalty kill, they didn't get anything on a power play. They had a major power play in 7 minutes of consecutive time. As Michigan, they're coming onto the ice right now for warm-ups.
Tyler, Zach talks about the power play. This is a game that features the number 7th ranked power play unit on Michigan against the number 1 penalty kill unit for the Buckeyes.
And the top 2 units in the Big Ten as well. So as much as we talk about the power play and how important that's going to be in this game, you can make the argument that the penalty kill is going to be just as important, because as Zach just talked about, both these teams, they were not able to convert on the power play Thursday night in Columbus. That means that the penalty kills were combined 9 for 9, which just tells you how good both teams were killing penalties. And, of course, Ohio State, the number 1 penalty kill unit in the country. They're coming in converting 89% of their penalties killed. That's good for the top unit in the country, and they also lead in shorthanded goals. So it's going to be an important special teams affair this afternoon.
As the Buckeyes now enter the ice as well, we're looking like it's getting ready for hockey here in Cleveland. Zach, you were on the call for the game on Thursday, and that was an exciting one already. This is a game that's going to bring in a lot of tension coming from 2 days ago.
Absolutely. You saw a lot of penalty minutes, over 50 minutes of penalties. There were 2 game misconducts as well. But here's the thing. When you're in an outdoor game like this, Matt, every player wants to enjoy the entire experience. So while you are going to expect some physicality and some pushing and shoving here and there, you definitely want to be a player that can enjoy the whole game. Everyone remembers Corey Perry in a Winter Classic a few years ago where he got ejected in the first few minutes and didn't get to enjoy the game. So this is something the players, they want to play smart, but they also want to play physical, and that can go to the advantage of both teams. And with the players on the ice right now, it's looking beautiful on this ice, and I'm really excited as puck drops minutes away.
And Zach, like you said, this is the type of environment where memories are made and legends are formed. And listen, these are all players on the ice right now are going to be motivated to show out in a new environment for both teams, a neutral site here in Cleveland, Ohio. And Tyler, Michigan's no slouch to these big games and neutral sites. They just finished up a game in Detroit against Michigan State.
That's exactly right. The duel in the D last week, game 2 of that series against Michigan State, and they were able to win that as clock was expiring in regulation. It was Luke Hughes with an unbelievable goal. He got a ricochet off the kick plate behind the net, and he was able to throw it back in. I mean, just an unbelievable goal, and he was able to slot it past St. Cyr, the goaltender for Michigan State. So they're no strangers to those neutral site games, and they're no stranger to the outdoor games as well. This will be their 8th outdoor game, 4-2-1 in those games, and winners of their last 2.
And the last time the Buckeyes and the Wolverines played in Cleveland, Ohio, outside Progressive Field, the Wolverines took that one home 4-1. So you know the Buckeyes are looking to get back on track and sort of even up the outdoor series. But talking about evened up series, it's 1-1-1 now in the regular season. They split the series in Ann Arbor earlier in the season, and then the tie coming off the shootout win for the Buckeyes Thursday night, 2 nights ago. And now this one's going to decide it, Zach.
And right now as we're looking at the ice, the Buckeyes have their new jerseys on, but something that's really important as well is the shadows at this moment in time. The sun is shining bright on the right side where Eric Portillo and the rest of the Michigan Wolverines are going to be defending, so that's a little bit of a disadvantage because for Jakub Dobesh, all in the shade, no sun will be shining in his eyes, and that's the Buckeyes' home ice advantage right now, and let's see if they can take care of that and use it to their advantage, Tyler.
And we're talking about getting pucks on net for both Michigan and Ohio State. Whoever's going to have the shooting advantage is going to most likely have the upper hand, and if you're Ohio State right now and you're going to be attacking in the first period on the Michigan net, this is where you really have to focus on getting shots on net. It doesn't matter how the shots are created or the opportunities that you're looking to get. It's more so getting the volume of pucks and getting those shots, because that's what Ohio State did on Thursday night, and that's what helped propel them to that tie, that comeback down by 2 goals, and an eventual shootout victory.
Zach, you talked about how that's their bread and butter on offense. Well, Ohio State's outshot their opponent in 24 out of 30 games this season, averaging 36.5 shots per night. That's what they want to do. And Tyler, like you said, in an environment like this, that's going to be so crucial and so helpful, maybe an advantage for the Buckeyes moving forward.
It can be, and this is where you can really play off the crowd. Ohio State's going to be shooting with a lot of the Ohio State fans and the marching band to our right. Michigan's going to be shooting as well in the Ohio State net in the shadows to our left with the Michigan band that's over to our left. We'll see a lot of maize and blue on this left side of the field where the maize and blue Michigan end zone is. A lot of Ohio State faithful on the sunny side of the field to our right, going near the scarlet and white Ohio State painted end zone.
Well, with just about 20 minutes left to the opening face-off, we've still got scratches for you today, some key players, and some keys to the game for both sides. We're going to take a quick break here on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. We've got a soundbite here of Tyler Duke talking about playing in this game against his brother Dylan on the other side of things, and then we'll be right back for you to intro this game. Welcome back into Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. We're still here with the pregame show. Again, my name, Matt Kendig. Alongside me to my left, Zachary Rodier. To my right, Tyler Danburg. And guys, let's talk about some key players for today. Zach, what about for Ohio State?
Ohio State, it's going to first come down to the goaltender and Jakub Dobesh. He's been key for this Buckeye team all season long with a .917 save percentage and a 2.24 goals against average, which is very close to his 2.25 of his entire career. I think that's going to be really important, but also the Buckeyes media team right now at FirstEnergy Stadium showing Mason Lohrei. He's going to be huge. This is a player for Ohio State that wasn't with the Buckeyes at this moment in time last season due to an injury, and he's coming in huge. 2 goals, 21 assists for 23 points. That's just on the offense, though, Matt. He is so important on the power play, penalty kill, blocking those shots, and he's looking ready to go in this game as well. And as we're looking right now, both the Duke brothers are taking a picture as they are enjoying this moment, and I'm sure their families are as well.
Great moment for both teams and both players involved. It's just a great environment here, a great atmosphere, and just the little storylines like that really tie it all together, Zach. You talked about Mason Lohrei. He's a big distributor for this offense. Someone that the goal-scoring numbers aren't necessarily there, but the distribution he brings on the power play is just so vital to this offense, and they could not beat without him. Tyler, let's talk about someone from Michigan maybe that's going to have your eye today.
Well, they have a lot of freshmen. They have one of the youngest teams in college hockey with an average age of 21, and one of the main reasons as to why they are so young, star freshman and Hobey Baker Award watch list member Adam Fantilli. He is putting together one of the best freshman campaigns that we've seen from a college hockey player. Maybe Jack Eichel would be the next person that comes to mind, the last freshman Hobey Baker Award winner. But Fantilli this year has been fantastic. 19 goals, 29 assists, and 48 points. That leads all of college hockey. He's coming off 1 goal in Thursday night's shootout loss and tie.
Fantilli leads the nation in points per game and assists per game, and he leads the Big Ten not only in goals and assists, but also in points.
He's got 22 points over his last 11 games. So if you look at the last 11 games played for the Wolverines, he's averaging 2 points per game.
Now, Tyler, his right-hand man, Luke Hughes, the blue liner, we just got some news today that he will actually be a scratch today after suffering an injury on Thursday.
That's going to be a huge loss because what he does on offense and defense is very similar to what Mason Lohrei does for Ohio State, because Hughes, he's got over 27 assists on the season, and he could tell when he left the ice in that first period on Thursday night, there was a little bit of a void left when he went to the tunnel, and of course he came back out, but him not being out of the ice today here at FirstEnergy Stadium is going to really bring that next man up mentality for the defenseman for Michigan.
And you have to feel for a player like that has been probably looking forward to a game like this all season long since it was announced. And the game before you get injured, that's exactly what you don't want to happen for a player. You have to feel for him there. And also, like you were saying, you did see a void there, and that's something that Ohio State has to know about today, and they will probably take advantage as they are still getting ready here on the ice.
And look for another Fantilli brother to step up. It's
a lot of skill, and they're not afraid to take on any team of experience, especially a team like Ohio State.
It's crazy to think that they've been able to step up, and Michigan's number 4 in the country, and they have one of the youngest teams in college hockey. And it's very interesting to further that, Matt and Zach, that when you look at both teams' point leaders, they're freshmen. Stephen Halliday for Ohio State and Adam Fantilli for Michigan.
And it really just speaks to the type of job these coaches do, recruiting in and out, finding talent in the Midwest area and elsewhere, and bringing them into their programs and seeing that come to fruition.
Absolutely. It's very important. Freshmen are always a big part of each team, but they also have to know that these players with their draft picks and everything that are going on, that they may not be here for all 4 years, so they have to make sure that everyone around them is getting the opportunities as well. We saw that with Georgi Merkulov last year, had a fantastic freshman season for the Buckeyes, now with the Boston Bruins organization. So those are all examples of how the players can make a difference, but they also want to show up. I'm sure that any college scout out there for any NHL team also wants to be here today to take in an outdoor game like this, and I'm sure there are a lot of eyes on these players. And for Luke Hughes, of course, already drafted. He won't be having a lot of eyes on him since he's already injured. But there's some other players, and especially that are just trying to cement their place. And I think this game is huge for both teams on that front.
And Zach, we talked about Adam Fantilli. That's someone that's going to really be a top prospect in the upcoming draft as well. But with just about 10 minutes to go here to the opening puck drop, let's go over a few keys for me today. We already talked about the experience of Ohio State versus the youth of University of Michigan. Michigan, 83% of their points coming from freshmen and sophomores. But I think in an environment like this, you're going to see the experience play out, and Ohio State play through some of their vets, especially someone like Tate Singleton, who had 2 goals on Thursday, Jake Wise, who had the shootout goal winner for the Buckeyes, and even someone like Jakub Dobesh between the pipes. They're going to rely on their vets today in this hostile environment, and what's going to be a loud arena here at FirstEnergy Stadium. Zach, what's one key for you today?
I think the keys are, I'll plug in the weather a little bit. I think that's going to be something really important that people do not always think about. Right now it's 46 degrees, real feel of 37. But the key thing is right now is there's only 6% of cloud cover. So it's clear skies, and that's creating the problem with the sun for the glare on Michigan's side right now. And that is something that's really important because in the weather you can't really control as everything would like to go. But right now the ice quality is really important, and from seeing a whole warm-up of a lot of players, there is a lot of snow on this ice, but it seems like the players were flying out there, and I'm interested to see how it all goes. Wind gusts 26 miles per hour as well, so the wind could play a factor with the goaltenders.
Yeah, for those not familiar with Cleveland, FirstEnergy Stadium is right on the lake. Our parking spot was right on Lake Erie, so they're not kidding when they say we're facing off on the lake this afternoon. I'd say a key for me is to rein it in, to stay grounded. That was one thing that both teams kind of talked about a little bit as the game started to creep in and Saturday started to creep in. But you look at the atmosphere, just an unbelievable atmosphere, a lot of emotions, an historic rivalry, one of the best in sports, one of the best in college hockey. But Thursday night, we saw a total of 16 penalties and 51 total penalty minutes. So it's going to be scrappy, it's going to be chippy, but how can these teams stay locked in emotionally and physically? That's going to be a key.
And that's a key in any rivalry game in any sport, Tyler. It's the physicality, but being smart and level-headed in it and being disciplined. I'll give you guys one more before we head out here. This is a game that's going to be won in the second and third period, but I think the first period is really going to set the tone here. Both teams want to start out fast. Michigan has outscored their opponents 47-25 in the first period this year. The Buckeyes, 12-2-1 when scoring first, and 4-9 when not.
And the first period's also a feeling out process for both of these teams. Get used to the ice a little bit, get used to the crowd, but also I'm sure, especially for people that haven't played in outdoor games before, they're going to feel the jitters a little bit like the first time they've been playing hockey in a while because it's a new environment. So the first period's going to be key to get their feet wet a little bit, and it's going to be really cool to see how it all turns out.
And it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes down. And also, too, when you hear a lot of the players talk and even seeing on social media, of course, this is going to be a new, uncharted territory. But also, this is what a lot of guys grew up playing. Pond hockey, outdoor hockey, getting the chance to play when they were younger. We heard Tyler Duke talk about the chance to play at the Frozen Diamond Faceoff before Ohio State and Michigan played each other at Progressive Field in Cleveland in 2012. So this is new territory, but also it's going to be really cool to see all these players get to relive some of those earlier moments when they were starting to fall in love with the game, which is pretty cool.
Well, we're closing in on Faceoff here as the players get ready to take it back to some of their roots here at Faceoff on the Lake at FirstEnergy Stadium. This has been the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio pregame show. I thank my partners Zachary Rodier, Tyler Danburg alongside me for this one. And we'll cut it out here and take it to me, myself, and Caleb Spinner for first period action here on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio right after this.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half-off margs and $1 off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio Tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays, parked right outside the RPAC.
Tune into the Block O Show presented by Barrio Tacos for an inside look at the 2022-23 Ohio State football season. Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio team of football broadcasters previews each week of the Buckeyes football season, featuring opposing reporters from student journalists across the country. Listen to the Block O Show presented by Barrio Tacos every Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hi, this is Caleb Spinner.
And this is Tyler Danburg.
Together, we co-host the Ohio State of Mind, Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's podcast covering all things Ohio State athletics. Join us Mondays and Fridays as we recap and preview every Ohio State sporting event from the past week.
We also talk to current and former Buckeye athletes in our interview series Behind the Buckeye. Follow the Ohio State of Mind on Twitter at State of Mind OSU for more information on the show.
We hope to see you there, but for now, that's the ad. We're out of here.
Hey, Buckeye fans, Zachary Rodier here, the podcast coordinator for Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Here to tell you that if you want to listen to post-game coverage of your favorite Ohio State athletics, make sure you subscribe and listen to SGSR Recap, where post-game coverage of all the big games, including football, big hockey, basketball, and everything around will be on SGSR Recap in case you miss post-game live on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. So make sure you listen to SGSR Recap on your favorite listening platform on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hey Buckeye fans, this is Patrick Engels, President of the Sports and Society Initiative Student Club. Are you interested in pursuing a career in sports and hearing from professionals who work in the sports industry? If so, then come find us in room 274 of the Journalism Building for SSI's bi-weekly meetings. Join us every other Monday at 7:30 p.m. to hear from qualified guest speakers who work in sports throughout Columbus, Ohio, and beyond. For questions regarding our club, please contact myself, our treasurer Jacob Benj, or our advisor Dr. Nicole Kraft. Go Bucks!
This is Matt Goldman, Vice President of SGSR, and you're listening to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, the official student radio network of Ohio State Athletics.
Coming soon to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, Season 2 of the Nothing But Nylon podcast with Gabe and Tyreek, covering all things Ohio State men's basketball.
Bringing you news, analysis, and more. Episodes will be coming to you every Tuesday starting November 1st. We hope to see you soon on Nothing But Nylon. Peace.
Hey everyone, my name is Jack Murphy, and I'm one of the co-hosts of The Nightcap, a new podcast here at Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Join me and my co-host Sam Cerrone every week for a discussion about the current state of sports and an interview with one of the top members of the Ohio State athletic community. We have a new podcast every Wednesday, and you can get us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Go Bucks!
Zachary Rodier here, host of 614 Check on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's Podcast Network. We're the only dedicated podcast talking about the Ohio State men's and women's ice hockey teams and the Columbus Blue Jackets. In each episode, we will cover everything you need to know in the NHL and NCAA surrounding the 614 hockey area code, and we will have exclusive interviews with the best 614 hockey personalities, including players, media personnel, and journalists. Listen to 614 Check, linktr.ee/614check, 4check spelled FORECHECK. Hope to see you there.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half-off margs and $1 off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio Tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays, parked right outside the RPAC.
Tune into the Block O Show presented by Barrio Tacos for an inside look at the 2022-23 Ohio State football season. Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio team of football broadcasters previews each week of the Buckeyes football season, featuring opposing reporters from student journalists across the country. Listen to the Block O Show, presented by Barrio Tacos, every Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hi, this is Caleb Spinner.
And this is Tyler Danburg.
Together, we co-host the Ohio State of Mind, Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's podcast covering all things Ohio State athletics. Join us Mondays and Fridays as we recap and preview every Ohio State sporting event from the past week.
We also talk to current and former Buckeye athletes in our interview series Behind the Buckeye. Follow the Ohio State of Mind on Twitter at State of Mind OSU for more information on the show.
We hope to see you there, but for now, that's the ad. We're out of here.
Hey, Buckeye fans, Zachary Rodier here, the podcast coordinator for Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Here to tell you that if you want to listen to post-game coverage of your favorite Ohio State athletics, make sure you subscribe and listen to SGSR Recap, where post-game coverage of all the big games, including football, big hockey, basketball, and everything around will be on SGSR Recap in case you miss post-game live on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. So make sure you listen to SGSR Recap on your favorite listening platform on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hey Buckeye fans, this is Patrick Engels, president of the Sports and Society Initiative Student Club. Are you interested in pursuing a career in sports and hearing from professionals who work in the sports industry? If so, then come find us in room 274 of the Journalism Building for SSI's bi-weekly meetings. Join us every other Monday at 7:30 p.m. to hear from qualified guest speakers who work in sports throughout Columbus, Ohio, and beyond. For questions regarding our club, please contact myself, our treasurer Jacob Benj, or our advisor Dr. Nicole Kraft. Go Bucks!
This is Matt Goldman, Vice President of SGSR, and you're listening to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, the official student radio network of Ohio State Athletics.
Coming soon to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, Season 2 of the Nothing But Nylon podcast with Gabe and Tyreek, covering all things Ohio State men's basketball.
Bringing you news, analysis, and more. Episodes will be coming to you every Tuesday starting November 1st. We hope to see you soon on Nothing But Nylon. Peace.
Hey everyone, my name is Jack Murphy, and I'm one of the co-hosts of The Nightcap, a new podcast here at Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Join me and my co-host Sam Cerrone every week for a discussion about the current state of sports and an interview with one of the top members of the Ohio State athletic community. We have a new podcast every Wednesday, and you can get us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Go Bucks!
Zachary Rodier here, host of 614 Check on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's Podcast Network. We're the only dedicated podcast talking about the Ohio State men's and women's ice hockey teams and the Columbus Blue Jackets. In each episode, we will cover everything you need to know in the NHL and NCAA surrounding the 614 hockey area code, and we will have exclusive interviews with the best 614 hockey personalities, including players, media personnel, and journalists. Listen to 614 Check, linktr.ee/614check, 4check spelled FORECHECK. Hope to see you there.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half-off margs and $1-off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio Tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays, parked right outside the RPAC.
Tune into the Block O Show, presented by Barrio Tacos, for an inside look at the 2022-23 Ohio State football season. Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio team of football broadcasters previews each week of the Buckeyes football season, featuring opposing reporters from student journalists across the country. Listen to the Block O Show, presented by Barrio Tacos, every Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hi, this is Caleb Spinner.
And this is Tyler Danburg.
Together, we co-host the Ohio State of Mind, Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's podcast covering all things Ohio State athletics. Join us Mondays and Fridays as we recap and preview every Ohio State sporting event from the past week.
We also talk to current and former Buckeye athletes in our interview series Behind the Buckeye. Follow the Ohio State of Mind on Twitter at State of Mind OSU for more information on the show.
We hope to see you there, but for now, that's the ad. We're out of here.
Hey, Buckeye fans, Zachary Rodier here, the podcast coordinator for Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Here to tell you that if you want to listen to post-game coverage of your favorite Ohio State athletics, make sure you subscribe and listen to SGSR Recap, where post-game coverage of all the big games, including football, big hockey, basketball, and everything around will be on SGSR Recap in case you miss post-game live on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. So make sure you listen to SGSR Recap on your favorite listening platform on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hey Buckeye fans, this is Patrick Engels, president of the Sports and Society Initiative Student Club. Are you interested in pursuing a career in sports and hearing from professionals who work in the sports industry? If so, then come find us in room 274 of the Journalism Building for SSI's bi-weekly meetings. Join us every other Monday at 7:30 p.m. to hear from qualified guest speakers who work in sports throughout Columbus, Ohio, and beyond. For questions regarding our club, please contact myself, our treasurer Jacob Benj, or our advisor Dr. Nicole Kraft. Go Bucks!
This is Matt Goldman, Vice President of SGSR, and you're listening to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, the official student radio network of Ohio State Athletics.
Coming soon to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, Season 2 of the Nothing But Nylon podcast with Gabe and Tyreek, covering all things Ohio State men's basketball.
Bringing you news, analysis, and more. Episodes will be coming to you every Tuesday starting November 1st. We hope to see you soon on Nothing But Nylon. Peace.
Hey everyone, my name is Jack Murphy, and I'm one of the co-hosts of The Nightcap, a new podcast here at Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Join me and my co-host Sam Cerrone every week for a discussion about the current state of sports and an interview with one of the top members of the Ohio State athletic community. We have a new podcast every Wednesday, and you can get us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Go Bucks!
Zachary Rodier here, host of 614 Check on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's Podcast Network. We're the only dedicated podcast talking about the Ohio State men's and women's ice hockey teams and the Columbus Blue Jackets. In each episode, we will cover everything you need to know in the NHL and NCAA surrounding the 614 hockey area code, and we will have exclusive interviews with the best 614 hockey personalities, including players, media personnel, and journalists. Listen to 614 Check, linktr.ee/614check, 4check spelled FORECHECK. Hope to see you there.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half-off margs at $1 off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio Tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays, parked right outside the RPAC.
Tune into the Block O Show, presented by Barrio Tacos, for an inside look at the 2022-23 Ohio State football season. Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio team of football broadcasters previews each week of the Buckeyes football season, featuring opposing reporters from student journalists across the country. Listen to the Block O Show, presented by Barrio Tacos, every Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hi, this is Caleb Spinner.
And this is Tyler Danburg.
Together, we co-host the Ohio State of Mind, Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's podcast covering all things Ohio State athletics. Join us Mondays and Fridays as we recap and preview every Ohio State sporting event from the past week.
We also talk to current and former Buckeye athletes in our interview series Behind the Buckeye. Follow the Ohio State of Mind on Twitter at State of Mind OSU for more information on the show.
We hope to see you there, but for now, that's the ad. We're out of here.
Hey Buckeye fans, Zachary Rodier here, the podcast coordinator for Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Here to tell you that if you want to listen to post-game coverage of your favorite Ohio State athletics, make sure you subscribe and listen to SGSR Recap, where post-game coverage of all the big games, including football, big hockey, basketball, and everything around will be on SGSR Recap in case you miss post-game live on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. So make sure you listen to SGSR Recap on your favorite listening platform on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hey Buckeye fans, this is Patrick Engels, president of the Sports and Society Initiative Student Club. Are you interested in pursuing a career in sports and hearing from professionals who work in the sports industry? If so, then come find us in room 274 of the Journalism Building for SSI's bi-weekly meetings. Join us every other Monday at 7:30 p.m. to hear from qualified guest speakers who work in sports throughout Columbus, Ohio, and beyond. For questions regarding our club, please contact myself, our treasurer Jacob Benj, or our advisor Dr. Nicole Kraft. Go Bucks!
This is Matt Goldman, Vice President of SGSR, and you're listening to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, the official student radio network of Ohio State Athletics.
Coming soon to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, Season 2 of the Nothing But Nylon podcast with Gabe and Tyreek, covering all things Ohio State men's basketball.
Bringing you news, analysis, and more. Episodes will be coming to you every Tuesday starting November 1st. We hope to see you soon on Nothing But Nylon. Peace.
Hey everyone, my name is Jack Murphy, and I'm one of the co-hosts of The Nightcap, a new podcast here at Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Join me and my co-host Sam Cerrone every week for a discussion about the current state of sports and an interview with one of the top members of the Ohio State athletic community. We have a new podcast every Wednesday, and you can get us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Go Bucks!
Zachary Rodier here, host of 614 Check on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's Podcast Network. We're the only dedicated podcast talking about the Ohio State men's and women's ice hockey teams and the Columbus Blue Jackets. In each episode, we will cover everything you need to know in the NHL and NCAA surrounding the 614 hockey area code, and we will have exclusive interviews with the best 614 hockey personalities, including players, media personnel, and journalists. Listen to 614 Check, linktr.ee/614check, 4check spelled FORECHECK. Hope to see you there.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half-off margs and $1-off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio Tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays, parked right outside the RPAC.
Welcome to FirstEnergy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio for the 2023 Faceoff on the Lake presented by Meyer. Today, it's the number 10 Ohio State Buckeyes taking on the number 4 Michigan Wolverines. Good afternoon, everybody. Alongside Matt Kendig, I'm Caleb Spinner. Thank you so much for tuning in to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio and watching in live on YouTube on SGSR TV. Take a wave at them, Matt, and let them know that you're here. This is an exciting day of hockey. Whoever knew that not only would we be playing hockey in a football stadium, but we'd be playing in an uncovered football stadium. Outdoor hockey, the way it was meant to be, going back to the pond days of old for a lot of these players on the ice today.
Players taking it back to their roots today on this one, Caleb. This has shades of Winter Classic all over it, but this is the game on ice. It's Ohio State, it's Michigan, and it's going to be a good one.
Ohio State bringing out a special uniform for today. They'll wear a cream sweater with a band of 5 stripes alternating scarlet and gray, gray, scarlet, gray, scarlet, gray, scarlet, all the way down in that order down the left and right sleeves, with the red pants and the iconic silver helmets with the tri-stripe, white, red, and right going left to right down the center. Meanwhile, Michigan, they'll wear a navy main combo with a sweater and pants, same color there, also matching the buckets on their head with the tri-stripe going down the center. And as we get ready, Ohio State wide receivers head coach Brian Hartline will participate in the iconic Cleveland tradition of breaking a guitar with the opposing logo at the start here. He's joined by Brutus wearing one of those fancy sweaters too. Couple things to get to here as we go into your starting lineups. No Luke Hughes today for the Michigan Wolverines. He was injured in Thursday's contest in Columbus. Instead, they will go with the left winger, Dylan Duke, the right wing, Mackie Samoskevich, and then in the center, it's not TJ Hughes, their usual top-line center. Instead, it's the captain, number 27, Nolan Moyle. On defense, it's 73, Ethan Edwards, and 20, Keaton Pearson. And in between the pipes, it's number 1, Eric Portillo, the 6'6 junior out of Gothenburg, Sweden, and Dubuque in the USHL. Going over for Ohio State, top lines all around. Michael Gildon, Jake Wise, and Cam Thiesing will do the honors at the forward spot, going left wing, center, and right wing in that order. The defensive pair, it's 6 and 3. Mason Lorai and Cole McWard going left and right. And between the pipes for Ohio State, it's number 44, the Montreal Canadiens prospect, Jakub Dobesh. He was great on Thursday in a shootout win for Ohio State. 3-3 tie in Columbus is officially how it went down in the record books. But we are ready for the final game of the season, pending a post-game action between the Buckeyes and the Wolverines. The game on ice, ready to drop the puck here.
Yeah, and it's going to be a great one, Caleb. 1-1-1 now on the season series, so this one decides it. Winner gets the season series, pending another overtime shootout type of style game. But these players are going to be motivated. It's a rivalry game. It's outside, and it's an electric environment here in Cleveland. It's going to be a great one on the ice here.
Ohio State skating on offense. They'll go left to right. Puck is down, and the Buckeyes, after some confusion, skate away with it. Michael Gildon had it in the neutral zone. He lost the puck, and here come the Wolverines. Ethan Edwards dumped it down. Dobesh plays it behind his goal, and now it's picked up once again by the Buckeyes. Mason Lorai had it. He sends it down the length of the sheet. Racing forward to beat the icing was Thiesing, but Edwards gets to it first, and we'll have our first stoppage of play. It's an icing. We'll get a face-off down on the left end, Ohio State's ice, in the near side dot.
Well, Caleb, let's talk real quick about TJ Hughes getting subbed out for Nolan Moyle, the captain. That's some more veteran presence for this Michigan offense and someone that they're going to look to rely on in a team full of freshman stars.
Ohio State wins the draw on their own end, and they flip it down the sheet once again towards the direction of Portillo. Doesn't have enough to get on it. Barely crosses the blue line into Michigan ice. The Wolverines send it down. It was telegraphed for a moment by Ohio State, now back on the blades of the Michigan players. Here comes Adam Fantilli, widely regarded to be the number 2 overall pick in this year's NHL draft. He had it for only a moment, but now the Buckeyes, they cross the blue line. That was Jake Wise who sent it in, Matt Cassidy on the left side who sent it in. Joe Dunlap brings it back around to the left blue line. Over to Scooter Bricky on the right side who sent in a shot. It was light into the glove of Eric Portillo, who makes the save and freezes the puck.
Eric Portillo, we're going to hear his name again. We saw him on Thursday against the Buckeyes as well. 37 saves on 40 shots, looking to be just as sharp here today.
Face-off coming on the right end inside Michigan ice on the right dot. Stephen Halliday to take the face-off for Ohio State. Michigan off the draw. They'll play it in their own end, right side. Moving up the ice across the center red into Ohio State territory. Pulling back on it, and now sending it behind the goal, where it's picked up by, this is number 91, Frank Nazar. Nazar was a thorn in the Ohio State side on Thursday when these two teams did battle in Columbus. Tied up left side, now brought over to the right, and hit hard was Michigan's Keaton Pearson, the starting right defenseman. Michigan brings it down the ice into Ohio State's zone. They rip a shot in on Dobesh. He's equal to the task, makes the save with his glove.
Dobesh in the checkered pads today. They're going
by a few Michigan defenders, and now Ohio State will play it with Jakub Dobesh behind his net. Marcus Stoppel with it on the left side for Michigan. He sends it out, centering pass. Tried to get it in towards, that was Nick Granowitz, but he was unable to keep it on his blade for long. Ohio State the other way. Puck entered the blue line for just a moment to the point where Ohio State's Travis Treloar had to pull it back to avoid the offsides. It results in a turnover. Michigan with a full head of steam. They push it into the Ohio State end. It's picked off by Scooter Bricky, who sends it up the sheet right side. He wanted to get it to Thiesing, could not find his man. And now Michigan, after breaking up the pass, they send it down behind Dobesh. He plays it behind the goal, and it's now tied up on the left side. The Wolverines skate away with it. They play it once again behind Dobesh. Passing it around now to the blue line. 17:37 to go, first period, no score. Michigan with it in the Ohio State end. They send in a shot, right flipper pad save from Dobesh. Ohio State trying to change it the other way, going on offense, but they are unable to. Back on defense here on their back foot, as the Wolverines have been all over the puck through this early going. Ohio State sends it around left side, flipped down the ice, and now racing to go back and get it is Keaton Pearson. He will beat the icing, so we will continue to play on. Gets it right side to Ethan Edwards, now back to Pearson, up the left side, and now sailing all the way down to Ohio State's end. There we'll get a frozen puck for the icing call as Dobesh raises his glove.
Yeah, physical play here. just under 3 minutes in. But Caleb, we talked about it on the pregame. This is going to be a feeling out process in the ice with the weather. A lot of these players maybe never played in a game like this before. This could be a slow start to this game.
Face-off coming left side in the Michigan end. Out to the blue line and now skating out as Cole McWard had it for just a moment. Mason Lorai sends it up right side, picked off by the Wolverines. Now picked off once again by Patrick Guzzo of Ohio State. Puck in the corner, now behind Dobesh in the net. Loose puck, sticks flashing. Picked up Adam Fantilli. He backhands it around, trying to get it behind the goal to his teammates. He can't find him. Rutger McRourty gets it out to Ethan Edwards. Edwards pulls back in the right slot. Shot ripped in, blocked in front by a Buckeye. Fantilli picks it up just inside. He tried to center it, could not get his shot through. Trying to beat the left pad of Dobesh. He was not able to. And then off the sticked redirect, it goes all the way down to Michigan ice, and they're going to call this an icing.
Yeah, that's a dangerous shot there, but it looks like we're going to have a penalty called here on Matt Cassidy for a late hit after the shot.
So we'll get our first power play of the day for either side. It goes to the Michigan Wolverines. Ohio State, though, not necessarily scared of being on the penalty kill. They have the nation's best going into that series on Thursday. Again, the Buckeyes had a shootout win down in Columbus the last time these two teams played just 2 days ago, before they all had the bus ride up to Cleveland, where we are right now on Friday. Had a practice last night, and then are now ready to close out this season series. Puck sails out of play as the Wolverines handled it in the Ohio State end and then flipped it up out of the bounds of the rink. There are no nets around here, so any flip up out of play is actually going to be out of play. The puck will leave the ice. You got to watch out for all the photographers who are around the glass. Michigan wins the draw on the Ohio State end. A backhanded shot turned aside. It was on the backhand of a Wolverine player. Looked to be TJ Hughes, who was in, again, not starting at his usual spot on the top line. Instead, he was replaced by Nolan Moyle, but he rips in a good look there, sticked aside by Dobesh. Michigan moving it up into neutral ice. They redirect it right side to left. Pulling back is TJ Hughes, gets it to the blue line. Ethan Edwards racing in. He has it in the corner now, left side. Puck skates out. It's on the stick of Tate Singleton. Singleton had 2 goals in the win against Michigan earlier 2 days ago. He lost it on some defense as he tried to get a scoring chance for Ohio State. Had a good look, but was poked from behind. And now both sides will make changes as the Wolverines have it in their own end. Now out to the center red, it's McRourty. Michigan dumps it in further. That was off the stick of Frank Nazar. Nazar in the corner left side. McRourty tied up on the near side boards. Now back out to the point. Over right side. Michigan stick handling. Here comes McRourty, who rips in a shot. Save made by Jakub Dobesh.
And Caleb, these special teams opportunities, especially on the Michigan power plays, are going to be so crucial. This is strength versus strength right now. Michigan boasts the 7th ranked power play unit. You already talked about it, the 1st ranked nationally penalty kill unit for the Buckeyes. When it's 5-on-4 in favor of Michigan, these are going to be crucial times for both teams. This is where they like to play. This is where they like to be, and it's strength versus strength.
52 to go in this first period. Puck sails out to the blue line. That was Frank Nazar, who had it at the left point. Now ripped in center, and a save made by Dobesh. Came in with a lot of heat off a slap shot from Ethan Edwards. Now we'll get a little bit of chippiness after the play here. Separated quickly were Jackson Halem of Michigan, and it looked to be Mason Lorai of the Buckeyes.
Ethan Edwards, known for his defense, he leads the team in block shots, but that slap shot is nothing to scoff at. Dangerous opportunity and a dangerous look for the Wolverines.
Face-off coming, left circle in the Ohio State end. 14:41 to go, no score here, first period in Cleveland. Cam Thiesing pokes away a puck. He's racing down the left side, trying to get it down to Michigan ice. No penalty as he's fighting down there, getting held up a little bit by Ethan Edwards. All clean, say the officials. Great defense from Michigan. The Wolverines have it in their own end on the stick of Frank Nazar. Nazar gets it back to Ethan Edwards as he enters no man's land. Cutting down through center. 2 men to beat, one of whom is Tyler Duke for Ohio State. Frank Nazar had it, got it around to the other side. He passed it around behind the goal. It was telegraphed by Thiesing. Now on the blade of another Buckeye, it's Scooter Bricky. Tyler Duke sends the puck up the ice. Now trailing for it is Matt Cassidy. Cassidy takes a shot behind Portillo in the goal, right at the glass, near the Ohio State, what would be the end zone, as we are playing on a football field, mind you. 13:47 to go, no score. First period, Ohio State with it in their own end after Michigan flicked it down the sheet. Camille Sadlocha had it for a moment, then it was telegraphed by Michigan's Nolan Moyle, the captain for the Wolverines. Picked up now, C.J. Regula. Wraps it around left side to Travis Treelor. Couldn't find his man, goes back down to the Wolverines. Shot ripped in, glove save, Jakob Dobesh from the left point.
And Caleb, talking about that last penalty kill, one of the dangers that this Buckeyes penalty kill boasts, not only are they so good on the defensive side of things, but the speed they have in their wingers. You saw Tate Singleton have an opportunity at a shorthanded goal. You saw Cam Thiesing getting it all the way back to the red line the other side. These are going to be players and wingers that force you the whole way, and they're going to be threatening not only in shorthanded goals, but also on the defensive side when the penalty kill is on.
Face-off one inside the Ohio State end by the Buckeyes. They send it up just for a moment right side. And now a loose puck settles in the Ohio State zone to Mason Lohrei. Lohrei moves it left to right to Cole McWard. McWard moves it up to the left side, Davis Burnside. Burnside guarded in closely, takes a shot in from the left side against Portillo. It's a weak shot in the chest side, tried to beat it glove side, but it's gloved down instead by Portillo. The Michigan netminder has been great today on the few Ohio State offensive shots that he's seen. 12:59 to go, first period in Cleveland for the 2023 Face-Off on the Lake, presented by Meyer. Ohio State and Michigan, they'll do a draw in the Wolverine end. Wolverines win the face-off. They take it left side. McWard there to meet it. He sends it back in, shoveling it into the Michigan zone for Ohio State. Tied up at the end boards, then pushed ahead by Nolan Moyle. Here come the Wolverines. Back down the ice. Edwards takes a shot as he moved backhand to forehand and ripped in a shot. It goes wide of the goal to Dobesh's right. Ohio State in transition. Up the red line. Mason Lohrei right side. He lost it to the stick of Keaton Pearson, the top line defenseman who started this game for the Wolverines. Playing it behind the goal line are the Buckeyes. It's once again intercepted by the Wolverines. Back and forth game, little bit of a flow here as we didn't see that on Thursday. There were a lot of penalties and icing calls that broke up that game. But here we are more or less back and forth hockey so far through this one. Davis Burnside rips in a shot left side. Excuse me, that's Tate Singleton rather. And another shot comes in right side. Portillo will glove it and freeze.
And Caleb, you're talking about the flow of the game. As these teams get a little more antsy, this first goal of this game is going to be very crucial. Michigan loves to get on the attack early. They outscore their opponents heavily in the first period. The Buckeyes, 12-2-1 when they score first, 4-9 when the opponent scores first. This first goal means a lot.
Top line of forwards back on the ice for the Buckeyes as they change in that last break. Wolverines skate away with it left side. Moving it up to the point. Here comes Adam Fantilli. Fantilli gets it over to the right side, and now back to Fantilli as they will call an offsides, it appears. Great seats here in the press box at the Cleveland Browns' home, FirstEnergy Stadium here in Cleveland. Technically considered an Ohio State home game, but not a bad view of the ice from where we are, Matt.
No, not at all. And thanks to the Browns organization and everything, it's been a great experience here in Cleveland.
Puck down in Ohio State's attacking end. Tied up on the boards is Jake Wise. Puck squirts out to the left point. Now brought in left slot by the dot. Directed towards Portillo. Not enough for a shot, but now here comes a breakaway for Michigan. It was tied up in the skate of the official. Would have been a grade A offensive chance for the Wolverines, and now we're going to get either an interference call or a tripping. Hard to tell, but the stick of Tyler Duke got tied up into the skate of Rutger McRoarty, and we'll have yet another Michigan power play.
Yeah, Tyler Duke not happy about that one, but Caleb, like you said, a weird play there right on the blue line side, right wing side. Gavin Brindley for the Wolverines got caught up in the skate of the official, just couldn't get out of the way. Not something you see every day, but that was a breakaway opportunity. It was just him and Dobesh left.
So we'll get a 5-on-4 man advantage as Tyler Duke heads to the box for the second penalty kill opportunity of the night for the Buckeyes. In Ohio State's end, the Buckeyes are playing it. Lowry from behind his goal tries to backhand it down and out of the zone. He gets it through, and completing the clearing attempt was Jaden Leslie, who got a stick on it. Michigan back in their own end. Mackie Samaskevich had it, lost it to the stick of Leslie. Leslie was pressuring down in his end and was able to get a stick on it to break up that feed. Wolverines have it back now. Adam Fantilli goes up the left side, now cuts back up center, makes it all the way to right side before he is nailed in the right side corner. Picked up, though, by another Wolverine. This is number 26, Seamus Casey. Casey on the right side. Back down to Fantilli right side. Back out to the point now. Heels on the blue line was Casey as he sent it over once again to Fantilli. Wolverines on this penalty kill, or on this power play rather, they are working it around behind the goal. Samaskevich sends it over, crossing attempt. It would have been a grade A shot if it had gotten through to Fantilli. It did not. Wolverines still with it in the Ohio State zone, attacking, and the shot gets ripped off a skate of a Buckeye player, out of play, possibly even all the way over the empty field that we have here and into the stands, but either way, it'll result in a face-off draw in the Ohio State end.
Yeah, Caleb, when talking about these face-offs, both teams right around the same, 44th and 43rd in the nation in face-offs. So whoever can get an advantage in that, Michigan had it last game. Right now, Ohio State jumping out to a 9-5 lead in them, and they'll look to continue that here throughout the rest of the game.
54 seconds left on the Michigan power play. 10:16 to go, first period here at the 2023 face-off on the lake in Cleveland, Ohio at FirstEnergy Stadium. Wolverines, Rector McRoarty on the right side. Kicks it all the way over now to Frank Nazar. Shot in tight, and it went just wide of Dobesh to his left. Would have been a great shot, but it was just off target. Buckeyes have it in the neutral zone. They lose it to Michigan once again. Up the right side, here come the Wolverines, trying to enter the Buckeye zone, and they do. Shoveling it around the end boards is Nazar. He got it over to the man he was looking for. That was Brinley. Gavin Brinley, the Michigan forward, the right winger on the second line, along with Fantilli and McRoarty. Regula looked to ice the puck down, and indeed he will get it all the way, the full 200. Wolverines have it now. Back in their own end, taking their time to set this up. This is Stephen Holtz. Holtz playing it behind Portillo, using his goaltender as a screen. Jake Wise was trying to peek behind and see where he was going to go with it. Buckeyes back to full strength here as they've killed that penalty. 9:03 to go, first period. Puck sails up right side. Here comes Cam Thiesing trying to beat Michigan defenders. He's got two on his left side. Takes a shot in, ripped in, blocker saved by Portillo, and another shot attempt is turned away again. Ohio State, as the puck skates out of their attacking end, they have to regroup. Shot dumped in on the left side, went around the net to Portillo. And now back and forth hockey we have here in the neutral zone. Ohio State will bring it back to their own end and set this up once again. Cole McWard sent it up right side, trying to get it to Jake Wise, could not connect. Picked up now by the Wolverines. This is Seamus Casey in his own end, and we'll get another penalty. Ohio State's box is open. This could be the third chance. It'll instead go against the Wolverines.
Yeah, late hit there right by the bench. Could be called boarding. Looked like a hit behind the back. And Ohio State's going to have their first opportunity today on the power play, as it looks like we're going to have a quick break here in action to clean the ice.
That will go against number 24, Stephen Holtz, indeed, for that last-minute hit. We'll be back here at 2023 Face-Off on the Lake, presented by Meyer at the FirstEnergy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, when we return.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half-off margs and $1 tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio Tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays, parked right outside the RPAC.
Tune into the Block O Show presented by Barrio Tacos for an inside look at the 2022-23 Ohio State football season. Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio team.
No score here at the 2023 Faceoff on the Lake at FirstEnergy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. 8:27 to go, first period, between the number 10 Ohio State Buckeyes and the number 4 Michigan Wolverines. Final game of the regular season between the Buckeyes and the Wolverines. Here after a 3-3 tie and shootout win for the Buckeyes on Thursday, just 2 days ago, back in the Schottenstein Center. Now we head about 120 miles north for the first Big Ten outdoor college hockey game at FirstEnergy Stadium. Shot ripped in as the Buckeyes are on a power play. Serving 2 minutes is Stephen Holtz for a boarding call that we had before the break. Over to the right side now. Buckeyes working it around. Stephen Halliday, right dot. Back down to the goal line. Jake Wise turns around, rips it in. Glove saved by the Michigan netminder, Eric Portillo,
Yeah, 2 quick opportunities there for the Buckeyes, Caleb, and that's what you want to see on the power play. Pepper in shots. This is an Ohio State team that averages 36.5 of them per game, and they outpassed the Wolverines all day, 40-17 on the game on Thursday. So look for them to keep getting shots in here, especially with a minute 30 remaining on the power play opportunity.
Buckeyes skating left to right on offense. Mason Lowry has it now at the center point. Shot ripped in. It's blocked off the chest of Eric Portillo, but the Buckeyes able to corral the rebound. Now tied up in the left corner. Cole McWard hit the ice as he was trying to do that. He was tripped up. Shot ripped in from Halliday right side. Couldn't get through. The Buckeyes skate away with it. Now get it out. Does Jake Wise to Stephen Halliday. Back out to the right point. Mason Lowry. Lowry, right side to Halliday. Playing hot potato is Halliday with Treelor in the middle. Back out to the right side, Mason Lowry to the blue line. Goes over left side into the slot. Rips in a shot from the left wing. Unable to get that throw. Wise with the rebound now. Buckeyes on the power play for 48 more seconds. Shots continue to fly in close for the Buckeyes. They're not able to squeak any through, and now Michigan will clear it down the other end of the sheet. Dobesh comes out of his crease to play it. Scooter Bricky and Tyler Duke are now the Buckeye defensemen as Ohio State makes a change. Here comes right side Tate Singleton. Singleton had two goals in that senior night game on Thursday against the Wolverines. Again, 3-3 shootout win for the Buckeyes. No score, 6:42, 15 seconds left on the Ohio State power play. Over to the left side, into Cam Thiesing at the doorstep of the crease. He's unable to break it through the stick of Portillo, but the rebound squirts out once again. Over to the right side at the blue line. Shot ripped in from Scooter Bricky. He can't find the net. Puck dumped down left side at the tape. And now tied up in the near side, in the right side corner by Cam Thiesing. Singleton tries to center it to Thiesing. He didn't get through. Blocker safe from Portillo. Buckeyes once again with it as we head to full strength. 6:06 to go, no score. FirstEnergy Stadium, Cleveland, Ohio, 2023 face-off on the lake. The Buckeyes now 5-on-5 with Michigan. And we'll get another delayed penalty on a trip as Dobesh heads to the bench. But he'll turn right around as Ohio State will go on the penalty. Michigan tapped it up.
Yeah, Michigan second in the nation in penalty minutes per game. Ohio State 12th. And we've already seen now 4 penalties here as the Michigan player will go back in the box. And another 2-minute man-up opportunity for the Buckeyes here.
2 minutes for tripping assessed to number 21, Jackson Halem. And Ohio State, after just getting a power play opportunity, will have another in quick succession. Michigan will start off the penalty kill by clearing it down the ice. And it looks like as they tried to wrap it around the glass, it went out of the rink. We'll have a face-off in the Michigan end.
And Caleb, in the first power play opportunity, we saw Ohio State try and just get it to the goalie and battle right in front of the net and try and poke it in. Look for them to kind of do the same thing here, especially with a screen or maybe even 2.
Face-off coming. Right circle in the Wolverine end. Treelor wins the draw for the Buckeyes. Over to the right side, back out to the right point. Skating over to the center, now dumping it into Stephen Halliday, right side. Buckeyes passing it around as the Wolverines try to defend this 5-on-4 man advantage. Cole McWard at the point. Heels on the blue line. He sends it in towards Treelor in the middle. Jake Wise with it right side. Back to McWard, who rips in a shot. Save made by Portillo. Great looking setup for McWard to rip that slap shot in. He just couldn't find his target.
McWard, a deadly player from the point, and we've seen it all year from him. He's known for his defense, leads the team in block shots with 40 of them, but that shot comes in deadly on Portillo, and we've still got 1:30 remaining on the Hallam penalty.
5:24 to go, first period. No score, Ohio State and Michigan, as the draw is won by Lori, out to Lori. And Ohio State will spend this next minute 22 on the power play. Closing out this 5-on-4 man advantage, Jake Wise brings it into the zone. McWard, left side. Treelor with it now in the left side corner. Out to Lori at the point, goes into the slot and rips in a shot. Deflected away by Portillo. Puck on the stick of Jake Wise, who takes a shot, loses it, over to McWard. Crossing attempt to Stephen Halliday, can't find his man. Michigan desperately trying to clear it out as Ohio State smells blood in the water on the penalty. 52 seconds left on the power play. Shot ripped in from McWard. He's looking for the game's first goal. Won't find it there. We'll get a stoppage of play here. Looks to be another penalty. We have an official's hand raised on the left side, and it's just just to fix the net.
Yeah, Ohio State peppering shots right now leading 13-6 in that category. It was not like that about 4 minutes ago, but these two power plays have given Ohio State a prime opportunity to get the first one here.
4:41 left in the first period. No score. Buckeyes and Wolverines at FirstEnergy Stadium. Tate Singleton on the right side. Second power play unit is in for Ohio State. So they'll spend the next 35 seconds on the power play. Scooter Bricky with it. Right side at the blue line. In deeper to the slot, right side to Tate Singleton. Singleton sends in a shot. Not a lot of power on that one. Easy save for Portillo. The Buckeyes get the rebound. Bricky now right side. Back to Singleton. Same spot on the right slot. Shot deflected off front as they sent it back out to Bricky on the point. He was deflected by a Wolverine in front, and now as it skates out to the neutral zone, Ohio State will get it back. They dump it in. Tyler Duke sends a shot in left side. Buckeyes once again with it, and we go back to full strength as another shot is ripped into Portillo. Ohio State peppering shots on the power play. Now back to even strength. They can't find anything to go, and both teams will make a change as the Wolverines play it back in their end. Mackie Samoskevich picks it up from the stick of his goaltender Portillo. Ohio State pressuring down in their attacking zone, but the Wolverines able to skate it up a front. They bring it into the neutral zone. Crushed into the penalty box glass is Mackie Samoskevich, courtesy of Ohio State's number 12. Or excuse me, no number 12 down there. That's number 2, James Maroney. And we'll get another penalty, it looks like. Ohio State's penalty box door opening. And skating over to serve that penalty is Joe Dunlap.
Caleb, physicality is the word today between these two squads. It's been hit after hit, and there's been some headhunting out there. They're just going for bodies right now, and it's been showing now. 5 penalties today in the first period. That's almost going to be, that is going to be 10 minutes, and half of the first period is going to be served on a penalty for one team, and you got to think that this isn't going to change in the second or the third in this one.
So Michigan will go on the power play once again for what seems like the 1,000th time this opening period. 3:17 to go before the first intermission. Already we can see the antics getting set up. Bubble players out here in those inflatable bubbles meant to protect you when you contact. Something that we see at Ohio Stadium during football season. Not sure exactly how well this is going to go over on the ice.
And we've seen Brutus get involved in that one, Caleb. We see Chomps out there for the Browns mascot, too, so maybe we'll have a little Cleveland and Columbus collab there with the mascots as well.
So it looks like they'll review this penalty here. It goes against Joe Dunlap for a hit he levied behind the Michigan goal. He would serve 2 minutes for roughing if this is confirmed. But until we get a word yay or nay, we'll step aside here on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio and SGSR TV. No score. Ohio State, Michigan. Back with more Face-Off on the Lake after this.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half-off margs and $1 off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio Tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays.
So Michigan reviews that last play called roughing on Joe Dunlap. They are unsuccessful in their challenge for a major, but Dunlap will still sit 2 minutes for that penalty. And the Wolverines looking to get the game's first goal off a power play. Face off in the Ohio State end. The Wolverines have it now right side. Back out to the left point, Adam Fantilli. Fantilli skates back, finds another player, moving his over right side. Buckeyes clear it with a backhander from Jake Wise. Back to patrol in his own end is Seamus Casey. Casey dropped it back. Mackie Samaskevich shovels it in right side. Dobesh comes out of his net to play it. Dangerously challenged by a Wolverine player as the Wolverines have it now. Left point. Back around the boards to the right side. Fantilli had a shot in the middle. TJ Hughes had one in the slot, ripped it in. Lori with it back now for the Buckeyes. Backhanded around into the corner. McWard will ice it down the sheet. 1:05 to go. Power play for the Wolverines here with 2:18 to go in the opening period of action at the 2023 Faceoff on the Lake, and we're going to even this up with a tripping penalty against the Wolverines.
Yeah, now the 6th penalty this first period, and Caleb, we can't say it enough. We're going to need some discipline from these teams or some attack on the power plays. Some teams got to capitalize on it eventually, and we're still scoreless here with just about 2 minutes left in this first period here at FirstEnergy Stadium.
So this is going to go against Jackson Halem, his second time in the box tonight for a tripping penalty. It goes against Eric Portillo, beg your pardon, but serving the penalty will be Halem. So now 4-on-4 hockey here with 2:10 to go in the opening period. Face-off won by the Buckeyes. They're playing it now in the Wolverine end. Tate Singleton had that for the Buckeyes on the right side. The Wolverines skating up with it. Gavin Brindley had it stolen away by Tyler Duke. Glove down in the Ohio State end by a Buckeye. It was Tate Singleton. Playing it behind his own net. Scooter Bricky pushes it ahead with the backhand to Tate Singleton. Singleton cutting up the ice, crosses the blue line left side. Shot played behind the goal in net as the clock is stopped with 1:22. 5 seconds left on Joe Dunlap's penalty. 1:09 to go on Portillo's. Again, serving that is Jackson Halem.
Yeah, and Caleb, that penalty is going to give Ohio State here with about 5 seconds left to serve on the Dunlap penalty. You're going to have about a minute of power play action for the Buckeyes, and that's going to close out the first period. It won't end to the second period. It won't continue into the second period, excuse me. But we're going to have about 10 seconds then of even strength hockey before this one wraps up.
1:22 to go first period here at FirstEnergy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio for the 2023 Face-Off on the Lake. No score between the number 10 Buckeyes and the number 4 Wolverines. We're skating 4-on-4 hockey for these next 5 seconds until Joan Dunlap leaves the box for Ohio State. Face-off coming left side in the neutral zone. Face-off is won by Ohio State. Puck sails all the way back to Mason Lori. Lori, chased by a Wolverine, has to play it behind his net to get him off. And now Ohio State officially on the power play as Dunlap leaves the box for the next 54 seconds as a shot is sent down the ice by the Wolverines. Dobesh sticks it aside, and Lori picks it up. Lori down the center of the ice, gets it right side to Treelord. Treelord will dump it in. He's picked up now on the left side by McWard. McWard directed a shot in towards Portillo. Did not get through. Wise had it for a moment behind the goal. The Buckeyes trying to keep it in as Travis Treloar keeps it in the zone right side. Puck now behind the goal line. Out to Travis Treloar in front. Shot deflected away by Portillo. Michigan the other way now with a full head of steam. Here's a shot ripped in, deflected by Jakub Dobesh. That was a shot ripped in by the captain, Nolan Moyle. Final 22 seconds of the opening period, and we're going to get a stop clock here at 22 and a half seconds with 9 left to go on the Michigan penalty.
Well, if you're Ohio State, you're liking what you're seeing out of your defensive performance here, as we're just about wrapped up here in this first period. 22 seconds to go. Michigan loves to jump out ahead of you. They love to get that first goal on the board and really put that pressure on you to play from behind all game. But if you're Ohio State and you're sitting here at 0-0 against this high-powered Wolverine offense, you're feeling pretty good about yourself.
Neutral zone face-off won by Ohio State. They'll play it with 20 seconds left in the opening period. No score between the Buckeyes and the Wolverines in Cleveland. Puck sails down the full length of the ice. Dobesh wanted an icing. It's waved off. Tyler Duke has it in his own end, skating up the right side, crosses the blue line, gets just to the red before it's picked off by the Wolverines. This is Gavin Brindley, centers it across to Rutger McRorty, and both teams played on a little bit, surprised by hearing a whistle that was not theirs or a goal horn that was not theirs, as once again we are at FirstEnergy Stadium, but that will do it for the opening period. No score through the first 20 minutes between number 10 Ohio State and number 4 Michigan here at the 2023 first face-off on the lake. A lot of shots sent in, Matt, but unable to find them past these goaltenders. It's been great performance between the pipes for both teams.
It's been opportunity after opportunity for both sides, Caleb. Like you said, and Ohio State's been peppering them in. 14 shots today, but the 14 saves from Portillo are really carrying them. But penalties are going to keep playing a role in this one. 6 penalties already seen today, 3 for each team, and both teams 0 for 3 on the power play so far. So we're going to see how that develops. If a team can sort of to take advantage of those opportunities, they're going to be put in the driver's seat in this one.
First intermission report coming up on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio and SGSR TV here at the 2023 Face-Off on the Lake. 20 minutes in the books, no score between the Wolverines and the Buckeyes. More action coming up next on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half-off margs and $1 off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio Tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays, parked right outside the RPAC.
Tune into the Block O Show presented by Barrio Tacos for an inside look at the 2022-23 Ohio State football season. Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio team of football broadcasters previews each week of the Buckeyes football season, featuring opposing reporters from student journalists across the country. Listen to the Block O Show presented by Barrio Tacos every Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hi, this is Caleb Spinner.
And this is Tyler Danburg.
Together, we co-host the Ohio State of Mind, Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's podcast covering all things Ohio State athletics. Join us Mondays and Fridays as we recap and preview every Ohio State sporting event from the past week.
We also talk to current and former Buckeye athletes in our interview series Behind the Buckeye. Follow the Ohio State of Mind on Twitter at State of Mind OSU for more information on the show.
We hope to see you there, but for now, that's the ad. We're out of here.
Hey, Buckeye fans, Zachary Rodier here, the podcast coordinator for Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Here to tell you that if you want to listen to post-game coverage of your favorite Ohio State athletics, make sure you subscribe and listen to SGSR Recap, where post-game coverage of all the big games, including football, big hockey, basketball, and everything around will be on SGSR Recap in case you miss post-game live on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. So make sure you listen to SGSR Recap on your favorite listening platform on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hey Buckeye fans, this is Patrick Engels, president of the Sports and Society Initiative Student Club. Are you interested in pursuing a career in sports and hearing from professionals who work in the sports industry? If so, then come find us in room 274 of the Journalism Building for SSI's bi-weekly meetings. Join us every other Monday at 7:30 p.m. to hear from qualified guest speakers who work in sports throughout Columbus, Ohio, and beyond. For questions regarding our club, please contact myself, our treasurer Jacob Benj, or our advisor Dr. Nicole Kraft. Go Bucks!
This is Matt Goldman, Vice President of SGSR, and you're listening to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, the official student radio network of Ohio State Athletics.
Coming soon to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, Season 2 of the Nothing But Nylon podcast with Gabe and Tyreek, covering all things Ohio State men's basketball.
Bringing you news, analysis, and more. Episodes will be coming to you every Tuesday starting November 1st. We hope to see you soon on Nothing But Nylon. Peace.
Hey everyone, my name is Jack Murphy, and I'm one of the co-hosts of The Nightcap, a new podcast here at Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Join me and my co-host Sam Cerrone every week for a discussion about the current state of sports and an interview with one of the top members of the Ohio State athletic community. We have a new podcast every Wednesday, and you can get us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Go Bucks!
Zachary Rodier here, host of 614 Check on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's Podcast Network. We're the only dedicated podcast talking about the Ohio State men's and women's ice hockey teams and the Columbus Blue Jackets. In each episode, we will cover everything you need to know in the NHL and NCAA surrounding the 614 hockey area code, and we will have exclusive interviews with the best 614 hockey personalities, including players, media personnel, and journalists. Listen to 614 Check, linktr.ee/614check, 4check spelled FORECHECK. Hope to see you there.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half-off margs and $1 off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio Tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays, parked right outside the RPAC.
Tune into the Block O Show, presented by Barrio Tacos, for an inside look at the 2022-23 Ohio State football season. Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio team of football broadcasters previews each week of the Buckeyes football season, featuring opposing reporters from student journalists across the country. Listen to the Block O Show, presented by Barrio Tacos, every Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hi, this is Caleb.
Time for the first intermission report on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio for the first ever Faceoff on the Lake presented by Meyer. Welcome back, everybody, alongside Zachary Rodier and Matt Kendig. I'm Tyler Danburg, and Matt, I'll start off with you. No score between number 4 Michigan and number 10 Ohio State. You called that first period. What did you see?
Yeah, I saw a physical game between these two squads, Tyler. We saw 6 penalties and a lot of hits, some headhunting going on out there. These are teams that do not like each other at all and wanted to set the tone early, and that's exactly what you saw from both sides. But no capitalizing on the power play opportunities. Each team got 3 chances. Each team couldn't take advantage of it, and that plays off right off the game on Thursday that they played, 0 for 4 and 0 for 5 respectively. We still haven't seen a power play goal yet and a lot of opportunities. So if you can be the team that takes advantage of those, I think that's going to be a crucial key to this game for the next 2 periods.
Zach, in this series, 22 total penalties, no goals from either team on the power play. What adjustments do you look for when you're on special teams and on the man advantage?
Well, one thing Ohio State has been doing on their power plays, and you have to give credit to the Michigan Wolverines, they have been forcing the Buckeyes to pass it on the perimeter. And because their box formation for the Wolverines has been so intact, and I asked head coach Steve Rollick about that on Thursday night, and he said we're just going to have to puncture that and find creative ways to get into that area. Because if the Ohio State Buckeyes can create chaos in front of Eric Portillo, that's where they're going to get their rebounds and their dirty goals. And a goal's a goal, and that's what the Buckeyes need to do if they're looking to get something done on the power play. On the other side, for the penalty kill, the Buckeyes have been doing a great job. They've actually had some shorthanded opportunities as well. But I think specifically with the penalties, Tyler, it's been the same exact officiating crew on Thursday, and that's when we had a lot of penalty minutes, and you could tell that those officials, they wanted to keep things very tight. They didn't want things to get out of hand, because once you have one pushing and shoving or one little contact to the head or something like that that isn't called, it's all going to break loose. So the officials had to make sure in that first period and set the tone, despite it creating a little bit of some choppy hockey.
That's an interesting thing to note. Of course, both these squads a respective 0 for 3 on the power play. Shots-wise, though, Matt, 14-7 in favor of Ohio State Buckeyes, putting a lot of volume and pressure on Michigan goaltender Eric Portillo.
And Tyler, just because it hasn't gone in yet doesn't mean that you can say that it isn't working. 14-7 is a big margin. They outshot them 40-17 on Thursday, and this is an Ohio State offense that's exactly what they want to do. They've outshot their opponents 24 out of 30 games, with one game being even. They've only been outshot 5 times this whole season through 30 games, and they're going to keep looking to do that here all game, because if you get shots on net and you leave bodies in front, especially on the power play with a man advantage, you can just throw right in right in front of Portillo as a screener. They're going to fall in eventually, and that's what head coach Steve Rolick is thinking.
So a lot of emphasis on passes around the points and at the blue line?
Of course, and then you want to get the shots in, especially from defenders, from Mason Lorai, from Cole McWard. Once it's in on net, then you have the opportunity for rebounds, and you have the opportunity for tap-ins, and all you have to do is poke it in. It's a small puck. It's hard to see when there's 4 or 5 people in front of the net. If you can get it to land right there and a scrum for it, you can never know what happens.
Under 10 minutes left in the first intermission. No score between Michigan and Ohio State here at FirstEnergy Stadium. Now the sun has gone down. The clouds have settled in. Lights are on. No more sun, at least right now, to worry about, which is something, Zach, that you mentioned on the pregame show and countdown to Faceoff. Well, now neither goaltender, Eric Portillo or Jakub Dobash, really has to worry about the sun. But all in all, what has this environment been like, this atmosphere here at FirstEnergy Stadium?
And you talked about that sun cover. That's something the Buckeyes were unable to take advantage of. But, Tyler, this atmosphere has been amazing. The crowd has been into it. We're still waiting for the official numbers on what the crowd is like. But right now, it seemed you were really going to get on that first period how the weather and the ice conditions were going to be. And it looks like the players were flying out there. A lot of great ice conditions. The one thing, there has been a lot of snow that's coming up, and I'm surprised that they're only scooping up the snow one time during each period after the 10-minute mark. But right now, the real feel with the shade and the 22% cloud covering in is 33 degrees, and that is a perfect hockey temperature right now. And with the wind gusts still at 36 miles per hour, so that can create some things as well. But overall, been great conditions. The fans are into it. Both bands are going back and forth, and I'm having a great time.
At Ohio State and Michigan, they practice nearing the start of the second period, about 7.5 minutes until we drop the puck. What are a couple keys that you're looking at going into the second period? Let's start off with Ohio State.
Yeah, honestly, Tyler, I think the biggest key is going to be whoever can get that first goal in and whoever can take that step forward. Because if you can get that first goal in and force the other team to play from behind, you're playing a whole different game. It's a whole different mindset. And now that we're through one period, there's less and less time. And as we wait for that first,
I think special teams, it's going to break through at some point, I feel like. And whoever can get that first power play goal, it's almost like having the monkey taken off your back a little bit as well, because both teams, they really want to get their power plays going, because it's so crucial, especially as we're getting later into this season. And for the Michigan Wolverines, with the tie that happened on Thursday, they're no longer in contention for regular season champions in the Big Ten. That's now Minnesota. So the Wolverines still have something to prove. They want to get all 3 points here this afternoon, and we'll see how it all turns out. But right now,
Cleveland being about a 2+ hour drive from Ann Arbor, same thing for Columbus, but nonetheless, a lot of scarlet and gray and a good amount of maize and blue as well. It's been a great crowd, a great atmosphere. Both teams trying to break the scoreless tie in the second period when we come back about 6 minutes away from dropping the puck for the second period. We will see you on the other side here on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. That was the intermission report on the official student radio home of Ohio State Athletics.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half-off margs and $1 off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio Tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays, parked right outside the RPAC.
Tune into the Block O Show presented by Barrio Tacos for an inside look at the 2022-23 Ohio State football season. Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio team of football broadcasters previews each week of the Buckeyes football season, featuring opposing reporters from student journalists across the country. Listen to the Block O Show presented by Barrio Tacos every Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio podcast.
Follow the Ohio State of Mind on Twitter at State of Mind OSU for more information on the show.
We hope to see you there, but for now, that's the ad. We're out of here.
Hey, Buckeye fans, Zachary Rodier here, the podcast coordinator for Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Here to tell you that if you want to listen to post-game coverage of your favorite Ohio State athletics, make sure you subscribe and listen to SGSR Recap, where post-game coverage of all the big games, including football, big hockey, basketball, and everything around will be on SGSR Recap in case you miss post-game live on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. So make sure you listen to SGSR Recap on your favorite listening platform on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hey Buckeye fans, this is Patrick Engels, president of the Sports and Society Initiative Student Club. Are you interested in pursuing a career in sports and hearing from professionals who work in the sports industry? If so, then come find us in room 274 of the Journalism Building for SSI's bi-weekly meetings. Join us every other Monday at 7:30 p.m. to hear from qualified guest speakers who work in sports throughout Columbus, Ohio, and beyond. For questions regarding our club, please contact myself, our treasurer Jacob Benj, or our advisor Dr. Nicole Kraft. Go Bucks!
This is Matt Goldman, Vice President of SGSR, and you're listening to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, the official student radio network of Ohio State Athletics.
Coming soon to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, Season 2 of the Nothing But Nylon podcast with Gabe and Tyreek, covering all things Ohio State men's basketball.
Bringing you news, analysis, and more. Episodes will be coming to you every Tuesday starting November 1st. We hope to see you soon on Nothing But Nylon. Peace.
Hey everyone, my name is Jack Murphy, and I'm one of the co-hosts of The Nightcap, a new podcast here at Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Join me and my
Time for the second period of Faceoff on the Lake here in FirstEnergy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Tyler Danburg alongside Zachary Rodier with you on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. After one period of play and 20 minutes in the books, Ohio State and Michigan are tied at nothing. Yet to see a
power play in the country. They're buffing up their numbers just a little bit in this series so far. But overall, it was a great first period of hockey. I'm excited to see how the next two periods go here on the call on SGSR. And I got to tell you right now, this is what the players play for. It's moments like this that right in front of around 50,000, that's what we're expecting today. We'll get more numbers on that later. But this is the moments you play for. You want to get the win, and not just only those 3 points, but when you look back on this day, you want to say, I got the win on this game. And that's what both players really want on both teams, and we'll see who can get it done.
Both teams are out of the ice. Michigan in the all-blue, Ohio State of the cream sweaters and the red shorts with the silver helmets. The scarlet letters and numbers on the fronts and the backs, and a nod to the 1940 Ohio State football team. Michigan wearing those maize and blue helmets, just like the football team does, with the gold letters, gold numbers, and the script Michigan across the chest with the white trim around the outsides. It's cloudy. The temperatures are moving down into the low 30s. No more sun, no more shadows, Zach, as we talked about on the intermission report. No score as we are just about to start the second period. Zach, before we get things started, what are your keys to this period for both squads?
I think right now the keys are trying to get a barrage of shots on the goaltenders, but getting those rebounds, get those dirty opportunities to try and get a goal. Because if Ohio State, or Michigan rather, can get those dirty chances, get those rebounds, and can create chaos in front, that is really where they're going to be able to make a difference and get that first goal. And then the floodgates can open.
TJ Hughes, the face-off for Michigan. Ohio State with Jake Wise at the dot. Puck is dropped by the head official, and away we go to start off the second period on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio as Ohio State possesses deep into Michigan ice. In the left corner, tied up was Thiesing. Sweeps it around to the right of the net to Gildon. Out to the right point, McWard. Thrusts it in. Behind the net, it falls. Went wide right of the cage. The Wolverines skating with 5 in their own defensive zone. Ohio State still with it in offensive territory. Out to the right point for Duke. Slides it across, got intercepted in front, loose at the right side of the neutral zone, poked away by a Michigan Wolverine, and out goes Jakub Dobesh for Ohio State in the all-cream uniforms as we are 1 minute into this second period, scoreless here in Cleveland. Here comes Ohio State to the red line, over the Michigan line. Going behind the right circle is Jake Wise. Giving chase is Cam Thiesing. Turned away for Wise, back to the right point, drops it back, cleared away by Michigan, and here they come from left to right. Over the Ohio State line is Fantilli, slides it to the right corner for Brindley. Back around it goes top of the right circle, the freshman. Seamus Casey drives it inside. McRorty, a shot saved. Rebound from Brindley, guided aside by Dobesh. Held in by Casey, rips it in wide left of the cage, it falls. Michigan, 5-on-5, high slot shot in front, blocked aside by Jakub Dobesh once more. 18.5 to play, second period. Ohio State clears and we stay scoreless as Michigan looks for an icing. Ohio State not able to beat it, and a couple of great chances there. 2 shots on goal from the Wolverines.
That was a great start of the period for the Wolverines. You couldn't ask better than that, besides trying to get a goal. But Jakub Dobesh was really standing tall there, Tyler.
Dobesh now has 9 saves. He's 9 for 9. Eric Portillo defending the goal to our left. He's got 14. Wing of Michigan ice. Going back for it in the right corner was Mark Estapa. Around the left end boards, it goes to Steve Holtz, who served the penalty, 1 of 6 in that first period. He holds it in along the left point, banks it high off the glass, falls in the left corner for Nazar. To the left circle, a shot got blocked on the dot by an Ohio State defenseman. That was Mason Lohrei. We have 18 minutes to play second period. Puck stymied up against the left corner wall in Michigan offensive ice. Going for it for the Wolverines is Halem. We're scoreless in the second period on a cloudy, chilly day in Cleveland at FirstEnergy Stadium. Michigan at the blue line with a shot blocked in front. For it goes Luca Fantilli, who scored in Game 1 on Thursday night. Ohio State can't clear. 4 on the forecheck for Michigan. Now 5 on the forecheck as the Wolverines hold it in along the right point. Tripped up was Edwards, doesn't get anything called. Ohio State tries to backhand it out, kept back in by Michigan. Centering pass, blocked in front. Here's Moyle with another shot and a save. Dobesh cleaned it up with 17:29 left in the second period. A big save there by Jakub Dobesh, 10th shot for Michigan.
The Wolverines thought that was still loose, but Jakub Dobesh had the puck. He knew exactly where it was. Besides everyone else, he put that right in his chest and stood up to try and tell the officials that he had it.
Moyle, the highest tenured Wolverine, tried to throw it in. Looking for the redirection was Nazar, doesn't get it. Face-off to the right of Dobesh in Michigan's offensive ice. Ohio State wins it out of their defensive zone. They clear it out of their own goal line. It's thrown out to center where Ohio State takes it. To the blue line, Ohio State with it. Tate Singleton with the backhand, and it's gloved in by Portillo, and then Singleton and Ethan Edwards engage in some extracurricular activity in the Michigan left corner. Clock stopped at 17:19 to play. That was a breakaway chance there from Tate Singleton, but it was gloved in by Portillo.
And as Singleton was coming in, that's something Ohio State did a great job on Thursday, Tyler. They came in on the zone on transitions with speed, and Singleton came in and he was wrapped up there by Edwards, but no call.
Puck dropped to the left of Portillo. 2 Buckeyes, 2 Wolverines converge. Top of the right circle, shaking free is Davis Burnside, one of the team's leaders in goals. He spins to the high slot, flips it right wing to Singleton, tried to center, looking for Burnside, got knocked in front, out to center for Michigan. Edwards leaves it over the Buckeye line. Now skating with speed is Nick Granowitz. To the right of the net, Ohio State intercepts the puck. They try and clear, can't do so, falls behind the OSU goal line. Ohio State now exits at their own blue line, to the red line, to the Michigan line. Over the right side of the right wing goes Wise. Leaves it for Burnside. Hard check in the right corner. Burnside tending to it. Michigan takes it with speed as Moyle. Couldn't flip it out of their own zone. Ohio State, nothing. Michigan, nothing. Under 16.5 to play, second period, and Michigan with a 2-on-2 rush from left to right. Moving it over the Ohio State line is TJ Hughes, the first line center. Lost the handle. Ohio State goes back into offensive territory. In front, Singleton, and it trickled between his legs to the left of Portillo. At the left point, dragged back in by an Ohio State defender, blocked in the slot. between the circles. Michigan tends to the puck, and they go to neutral ice. Over the Ohio State line is Samaskevich to the right wing. He shoots, and a left pad save made by Dobesh off his red and gray checkered pads. It rolls out to the left point. Fantilli lost the puck. Ohio State 2-on-2 to the right circle. Centering pass, shot to the right side of Portillo, and he guided it aside. Ohio State with a chance. That was Joe Dunlap back to the centering feed, and it's knocked off the right blocker of Portillo. Ohio State 2 quick chances, but Michigan taking it from left to right with 15:40 to go. Centering feed knocked away by Dobesh, and back comes Ohio State from right to left at their own blue line. Michigan takes it away. 2-on-1 to the left circle. Samaskevich centers right wing. Shot went in by Fantilli. Over the bar it falls. Puck is whistled dead as Jakub Dobesh stands tall again. 15:24 to go. Second period. Scoreless still on this cloudy afternoon in Cleveland. There was the circle-to-circle feed from Samaskevich to Fantilli, but Ohio State able to keep this game at a deadlock. No score.
And right now, that was a few great opportunities for the Ohio State Buckeyes the other way. That's what they had to do, create chaos in front, but it didn't pay off. Right now, Tyler, faceoffs 21-8 for the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's plus 13, and that's huge in this game.
Now make that 22 as Ohio State wins the D-zone draw. They flip it out, and over the red line with speed comes Dunlap out to the right point. Duke throws it in, gloved in by Portillo, a quick right point shot, and it was Eric Portillo, who makes his 17th save with 15:10 to go second period. So you talk about the volume of shots, Zach, that Ohio State has put on the Michigan goaltender. That continues with their 17th shot on Portillo, but he keeps it scoreless.
And that's something they did on Thursday, where the Ohio State Buckeyes out shooting the opponent by a lot. And if they can continue to fire in the shots, they have to hope that one will go in soon.
Dalton Messina wins the faceoff for Ohio State. Thrown in towards the netminder Portillo by an Ohio State player at the right circle. That was Michael Gildon, and then a save made by Portillo. He falls to the ice, does Portillo, and a couple of players from both teams fall to the right of the cage with 15:07 left in the second period. What'd you see there?
It looks like Jaden Leslie's going to go to the penalty box here, and he was not happy about that at all. And we're waiting to hear what that was from. And it looked like it was maybe a little bit of a love tap slash to the official, or to one of the goaltenders or one of the players there. But nonetheless, another power play here for the Michigan Wolverines.
First penalty of the second period, 7th penalty altogether. That puts us at over 65 minutes in this two-game series, one that Ohio State and Michigan drew 3-3 in the Thursday night series opener.
And that was slashing for Jaden Leslie.
So 2 minutes for Leslie, and it will start now. 5 seconds in, 15 minutes to go, second period. Scoreless here. Michigan on the power play, 0 for 3 today, trying to go 1 for 4. Ohio State looking to stay perfect on the penalty kill. Holding behind his net is Hughes. Up the right-hand side to Brinley. Going over the Ohio State line, skating on the back check is Duke. Shoving it free is Brinley. Drives it back out to the right point for Samaskevich. Touched on to the right of the net by Brinley. Steers with his back to the Ohio State cage, centers to the point. Hard hit by 2 Buckeyes. It's Travis Treelor defending. Right point, Halen. Left point to Edwards. Now top of the left circle, Samaskevich drives it behind the net. Wolverines throw it in front. Ohio State clears down the right side of the ice with a minute left to kill.
And that was Ohio State right there, Tyler, doing what Michigan does on their penalty kill as well, keeping a tight box and not allowing the Wolverines to get into that center house area.
14 minutes left, second period, no score. Michigan at their own blue line. Shaking free is Halem. Dances over the right side of the Ohio State line. Gives it off to Fantilli. Slips it right point, lost it. Intercepted by Ohio State, looking for the shorthanded opportunity. Guzzo skating to the left circle in Michigan's ice. Stolen away by Casey for Michigan. Wolverines going from left to right. To the red line is Fantilli. Drops it top of the right circle for his teammate Samaskevich. Centering pass to the slot. A shot by Casey, and it's gloved in by Dobesh as he went out of his crease to knock it in with 13:36 to play, second period. And the power play is at 30 seconds for Michigan.
That was a remarkable save there by Jakub Dobesh. You really using his 6'4" height there. And Casey could not believe it. He put his head up to the sky, which you could actually see in a game like today outside, and couldn't believe that that one did not go in.
Great crowd on hand reacting to the 12th save for Jakub Dobesh. Face off to the right of the netminder. Here's a shot from the left circle by Samaskevich. Saved by Dobesh. Knocked down off his glove. Ohio State backhands it out off the skate at the center point by Seamus Casey. Michigan reels it back in with 15 seconds left on the power play. Still scoreless. Michigan holding. Wheeling it to the left corner is Hughes. Centers. Shot. Goes in, and it's knocked away by Dobesh and cleared by Ohio State. Down to 3, down to 2, down to 1, and the penalty is over. Jaden Leslie exits the box for Ohio State, and another kill in this game to keep it 0-0.
Still waiting for our first power play goal today.
And in this series, too. Down the middle for Michigan, and dumping it behind the Ohio State net is Granowitz. Dobesh goes out of his crease to get it. The netminder flips it out to the left corner. Behind Lori. Right side pass goes to McWard. Skates to his blue line, to the red line at center ice. Lost the handle, goes over the glass and back in again. So the play is whistled dead. 12 minutes, 39 seconds left in the second period of the first ever face-off on the lake here at FirstEnergy Stadium. Looking for the first goal today. It's Ohio State 0, Michigan 0. Shots-wise, 19-13 in favor of Ohio State. So, Zach, we are now about 8 minutes in. What have you seen in this frame?
I think it's been a lot of back-and-forth chances, which we didn't really see as much in the first period, which has been great to see. I know fans are looking for a goal fest here, and they want to have things to celebrate, but nonetheless, it's been a tight, good game.
Defensive slugfest. Right side of neutral ice with a shot is Keaton Pearson, the defender. Tended to behind the net and lost by Ohio State. Here's a chance for Halem. He shoots to his backhand, and he is saved by Dobesh yet again.
That was Dobesh's best save of the afternoon. Absolutely no question about it. He was able to leap out into the near side, come away from the blue paint, and leap for the puck where he was all alone with Samaskevich, and that he cannot believe that one didn't go in. But Dobesh, not a lot of shots compared to Eric Portillo, but coming out huge, Tyler, when needed.
Now that's 14 saves for Dobesh, matching 14 saves in the 3-3 tie on Thursday. So Michigan with it at full strength, 12-15 and ticking, second period, loosen the slot, and Ohio State wins the battle, and they'll flip it out high off the glass, sails over the stick of Edwards, careens back behind the Michigan goal line, no icing. Ohio State back into the offensive zone, out to the left point, thrown in by Lori, blocked in the slot, goes over the glass, and we will reset with a face-off on the left side of neutral ice. And, of course, Zach, we don't see any pucks hit the netting because there is no netting. So that puck from Lori off the shot from the left point went to about the 5-yard line to our left. Clock stopped at 12 minutes in the second frame, no score.
And actually went to a touchdown right after that. It hit the Michigan end zone right there. But nonetheless, it's still a nothing game.
It hit that maize-painted M in the blue-painted end zone. Here's a face-off to the right of Portillo. Even strength, no score, under 12 minutes to go, second period. Two Buckeyes fighting for it in the right corner. Wise, the centerman, slides it behind the U of M net. He was targeting his teammate Thiesing. He couldn't get it to him, but Ohio State back at their own blue paint. They try and flip it out of their own zone. They can't do so. Held in by Brindley. Jukes to his right. Off to McRorty. Centering pass. Nobody there in the slot. Play whistle dead. We'll get a stoppage. And we'll reset.
Jakub Dobesh's net got dislodged there, Tyler, so the officials whistling that one down to get things set back into this freshly minted ice here in Cleveland, which I think all around this ice crew has done a fantastic job getting everything set up, because right now the ice conditions have been great.
And the temperature's steady now in the mid-30s, so that's how you know the ice is still in good condition. Here off the Ohio State 1 face-off. They won it, then they cleared it out to center. Thrown back into the Michigan net to the right corner. Picked off by an Ohio State player up the left-hand side. He takes a hard check. Michigan fighting for it at their own blue paint. Rolls back for Portillo. Pitches it to Hughes. Drives it up and winds it back. Looking to center. Touched off the stick of his teammate Samaskevich, and here comes Ohio State behind their own net. McWard against the two-man forecheck, drives it out of the zone at neutral territory along the right side with under 11 minutes to play in the second period is due. Seeps it down the right-hand side in the air, bounces off the goal line, off the boards, and rolls back for Hughes. Kicked away by an Ohio State player, but the Wolverines take it. Up the right-hand side with it on his stick is Pearson. Over the Ohio State line, shoots in. Dobesh goes out, clears away along the left boards. Touched by Burnside, tries to dig it out. Along the boards, it's pinned. Burnside centers, and Ohio State goes from right to left. Moving it to center, over the right-hand line is Duke. Spinning away now, an Ohio State player shoots in off the left pad of Portillo. We have 10:15 left in the second period, scoreless in Cleveland. Dobesh tried to tangle it out, joust at the right point. Casey won it, now he's back on it as Ohio State steals it away and they flip it down the right-hand side. Calling for icing with his left glove hand up in the air is Eric Portillo, and the Michigan goaltender signals for an icing, and that's exactly what we'll get. So it is an experienced crew. The officials today, Brian Aaron, David Marcotti, the referees, Justin Cornell, Jake Davis, the linesman. They have been calling a lot of whistles, but also letting the play breathe. But this is, as you mentioned, a crew that was also in Columbus for the Thursday night game. So how does that affect things in this second game of the series?
Now the players and the goaltenders, everyone is accustomed to them a little bit, and they also know how they're going to call a tight game, which they have so far in the first period, and it slowed things in the momentum down.
Ohio State with a defensive zone face-off win. They clear it down the left side of the sheet. And Marcotte has his right hand in the air, signaling icing, so it's going back Michigan's way with 9:51 left in the second period. Ohio State nothing, Michigan nothing. In the face-off on the lake, a game that obviously has a great atmosphere, but even more implications for the Big Ten standings.
It does. Right now, Michigan State is above Ohio State by 1 point at this moment in time, so the Buckeyes looking to get the extra point here as they only got to on Thursday.
Ohio State wins their 29th face-off but can't clear. Loose in the slot, backhanded out off the skate of Michigan's Pearson, and the Buckeyes take control down the left side. Over the Michigan line is Dunlap, then he loses the handle, banked off the left boards for Michigan. Over the left line is Halem, flips it around the glass, tended to in the right corner by McRory, slips to the ice, tumbling down, stripped of the puck by McWard, couldn't sweep it around the boards. 9:20 left in the second period, still scoreless. Both teams looking for their first goal. Ohio State 4-on-2 the other way. Over the line, pass, top of the left circle. A shot goes in off the glove of Portillo, and it trickles out. Shot went in there by Cam Thiesing off the face-off draw. 9:10 left, second period, and the ice crew comes out. What do we have here?
Gavin Brindley is going to go to the box, or Ohio State looks like they may be going on the power play. A slashing call was there. Brindley was slowly going to the box, but then he went back to his bench. So we will see where this penalty goes and who it goes to after we step aside, Tyler.
So we will pause here on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. We could have a big chance coming up, seeing here at FirstEnergy Stadium, Ohio State possibly to the power play. The red light is on the far side boards. The referees are converging. We will pause here on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio and take a quick station ID in the official student radio home of Ohio State Athletics, Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High.
Pause, and now we are back. Gavin Brindley. So a quick pause, and we are back on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Tyler Danburg, Zachary Rodier, Ohio State going on the power play. Gavin Brindley commits the penalty for Michigan, and Ohio State will face it up with the Wolverines in their offensive zone to the right of Wolverine netminder Eric Portillo.
And Tyler, we keep saying it. Is this the time we finally see a power play in this game? Did it take us another 2 hours away from Columbus to Cleveland to see that happen? We will see, but entering 22% on the weekend were the Ohio State Buckeyes, and looks like there's a little bit of an ice issue right in front that the officials are tending to right now, and entering this weekend 78.4% for the Wolverines, but looks like we may have a few more seconds here as the ice crew is figuring things out. But one thing I do want to mention as well, as Brindley will be headed to the box for slashing the faceoffs, Tyler. 29-10 for the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's domination. And when you're winning that many draws, that's when you have to take advantage of them. and look for that to happen on the power play.
Ohio State came in middle of the pack in the conference coming into the series. In face-off win percentage at about 48% of their face-offs. They've won well over that over their last 2 games. And right now, our first ice issue of the game, it's outside the left circle to our left in the Ohio State offensive zone. One of the referees is over to help with the issue. A couple of the ice crew members on the ice, and then the remaining members of the ice crew are at the tunnel to our right. And out comes Jakob Dobesh. He's going to go towards the Ohio State bench along the near side. So, Zach, we've been talking about how great the ice crew has been. They've done a fantastic job. Not too many issues so far, but right now, a little bit of slippage just inside the left wall.
Yeah, and ultimately the number one priority is to keep the players safe. And if we see any holes or anything like that in the ice, that's where we can have issues and players can get hurt. And it's really close right on the bench there. And on the boards is where they're trying to fill in a little bit of a divot, it looks like, as the Jumbotron here is getting a zoom in on what they are trying to fix. But this does seem like an issue that will take a little bit of time for them to try figure out.
No score here at FirstEnergy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Tyler Danburg, Zachary Rodier, Matt Kendig, and Caleb Spinner with you. 9 minutes, 10 seconds left. Let's get you caught up on what we've seen so far. 4 penalties from both teams, including the 4th for Michigan that will be coming up after this ice issue is solved. That's a 2-minute slashing minor for Gavin Brindley, the freshman out of Estero, Florida. And right now, the referees, the Ohio State team, and the ice crew all converging on that near wall to look things over. But right now, a 21-14 advantage in the shots for Ohio State. And 8 total penalty minutes faced from both teams respectively. But you mentioned the face-off. So crucial, Ohio State has won 29 of 39.
And yeah, it's been a huge deal right now is that offensive and face-off wins all from Ohio State. They have to take advantage of that in the future, but stats-wise, they have been the better team on the ice, of course, and that is really crucial for the Buckeyes. And they did so on Thursday as well, Tyler, but it still had to go to shootout. So if Ohio State can take advantage of all their stats that they are outdoing Michigan right now, then they can win this game. But here's the thing, and everyone's always talking about what can Ohio State do in the postseason, Tyler. And if they're playing against Michigan, the number 4 team in the nation, like they have over the past 2 days, anything can happen in the postseason. And the Buckeyes are showing that they are a team to be reckoned with when it gets into the NCAA playoffs, I shall say.
And Ohio State next week, they will take on Minnesota in a big series coming up, and then Michigan, they will take on Notre Dame. So 9-10 left, second period. Ohio State none, Michigan none, and it looks like the issues starting to be solved, but both teams are going to come out just to re-warm up. Everybody's off the bench just to stay loose, and that's the most important thing right now. And the attendance has been announced, 45,523 fans here at FirstEnergy Stadium. A great turnout. A lot of orange seats, but even more seats full here at the home of the Cleveland Browns.
And that already breaks Ohio State's record for the Frozen Diamond. And, you know, that is a huge crowd for them to play in front of.
And that just about ties the same game total that was achieved at TCF Bank Stadium in Minneapolis in 2014. That was the largest crowd in Ohio State history. This is going to be just as close. Of course, that was a loss for Ohio State against Michigan. One of their 3 outdoor losses. They're looking for their first outdoor game win. Meanwhile, Michigan 4-2-1 in their second outdoor game in Cleveland.
And I think the Browns, they would have liked a few more thousand people. I think they were expecting, they said around 50,000 tickets to be sold, but 45,000 is still a great crowd here. And seeing a Buckeye and Michigan Wolverines game, it's the biggest rivalry on a football field, but it's also here on a football field and an ice at the same time. And Tyler, the Zambonis are coming out right now, so we may have a decision that they may want to take a little bit of a break in order to solve this issue We don't have any word on that at this moment, but again, Zambonis are coming onto the field right now.
2 Zambonis are entering on the far side above the Faceoff on the Lake logo, just outside the far boards. So that might mean if they come out right now, that could mean a little bit less of an intermission time. Of course, this is new charter territory for both these squads because it's been the first outdoor game since 2014 for Ohio State. Michigan playing in an outdoor game as recently as the last couple of years, but we will keep you monitored on what's going to happen here. No score with 9:10 to go in the second period, and everybody out and skating on the ice right now, just staying loose and warming up, as there are about 4 Ohio State players that are huddled around the ice crew, 5 in gray jerseys in the ice crew, tending to this divot in the ice on the near boards on the left side of Ohio State's offensive zone, and that's where we will step aside on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. So, pending what happens on the ice, when this issue gets resolved, Gavin Brindley is going to serve a 2-minute minor for slashing for Michigan, and Ohio State's going to go on the power play with no score here in Cleveland. Second period action coming up next on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half-off margs and $1 off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio Tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays, parked right outside the RPAC.
Tune into the Block O Show, presented by Barrio Tacos, for an inside look at the 2022-23 Ohio State football season. Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio team of football broadcasters previews each week of the Buckeyes football season, featuring opposing reporters from student journalists across the country. Listen to the Block O Show, presented by Barrio Tacos, every Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hi, this is Caleb Spinner.
And this is Tyler Danburg.
Together, we co-host the Ohio State of Mind, Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's podcast covering all things Ohio State athletics. Join us Mondays and Fridays as we recap and preview every Ohio State sporting event from the past week.
We also talk to current and former Buckeye athletes in our interview series Behind the Buckeye. Follow the Ohio State of Mind on Twitter at State of Mind OSU for more information on the show.
We hope to see you there, but for now, that's the ad. We're out of here.
Hey, Buckeye fans, Zachary Rodier here, the podcast coordinator for Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Here to tell you that if you want to listen to post-game coverage of your favorite Ohio State athletics, make sure you subscribe and listen to SGSR Recap, where post-game coverage of all the big games, including football, big hockey, basketball, and everything around, will be on SGSR Recap in case you miss post-game live on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. So make sure you listen to SGSR Recap on your favorite listening platform on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hey Buckeye fans, this is Patrick Engels, president of the Sports and Society Initiative Student Club. Are you interested in pursuing a career in sports and hearing from professionals who work in the sports industry? If so, then come find us in room 274 of the Journalism Building for SSI's bi-weekly meetings. Join us every other Monday at 7:30 p.m. to hear from qualified guest speakers who work.
Back here at FirstEnergy Stadium, and both teams are starting to come back to their benches. It looks like the ice issue has been resolved and fixed. And with 9:10 left in this second period and no score, we're going to whip it to our meteorologist and color man, Zachary Rodier, with a weather report here inside FirstEnergy Stadium.
So, Tyler, that thing on the ice right there, it was a big divot of ice and a huge hole. And that is why we have had a lot of bit of ice time to really hang out, talk, and have the players warm up a little bit as well. But right now, 26% of the cloud cover, still around 16 miles per hour winds, 24 mile per hour wind gusts. So the feel like is 32. That is freezing point, and that's perfect for the ice to try and get back into it. But hold on, there's a divot on the other side of the ice now that the officials are starting to tend to as well. But it looks like it's all set, and We said this Brindley power play for the Buckeyes a while ago, but now we are finally going to be able to get back into it, Tyler.
It's been a long time coming. Ohio State will face off with Michigan in the left circle of the O-zone. 2-minute slashing on Michigan's freshman, Gavin Brindley. Puck is down. Careens out to the left point, McWard. Center point, Mason Laurie has 14 assists on the power play this year. To the right of the net, Wise steers it aside. 9:10 to go, second period, no score. Ohio State 5-on-4 in the O-zone. Top of the right circle, Wise holds, shoots in, redirected in front of a blocker save by Portillo. Held in along the left point by McWard. Flips it back to Wise, centers, and it got knocked away by Michigan. Kept in by McWard, goes to the left goal line in the corner, sweeps it around for Wise, tends to the puck in the all-cream sweaters. Holds it out to the right point where Laurie meets it with his stick. No score, 1:20 on the power play, 2 minutes on Gavin Brindley for slashing. Outside the right circle, Gildon pitches at center point. Laurie shoots in and it got tipped in front. Kept alive by Moyle, flips it down the left side of the ice, and Michigan clears.
A few good chances there for the Buckeyes, but the one thing right now, with a little bit of a break, Tyler, both goaltenders haven't seen shots in a while. Let's see which team can take advantage.
We've seen 25, now 35 total shots. Here's Ohio State coming the other way. 5-on-4, Gildon, right circle. Shot goes in off the right circle side of Portillo. In the left corner, McWard tries to slash it away for Ohio State. Cleared out by Michigan's Steve Holtz, and it goes down the ice again with 40 seconds and ticking on the power play for Gavin Brindley. 5-on-4 Ohio State. They bring it from right to left. Scoreless here with 7:40 and ticking. Ohio State over the Michigan line along the left side. Kept around the end boards to the right corner. Hard check on Karenin, and Michigan clears it down again where Jakub Dobesh sticks it away, goes to his skates, on his feet. He'll move it away, looking to get it to center. 15 seconds left on the power play, and Ohio State has to hurry. They lose it at center ice. It's a sprint for the puck down the left-hand side. Brendan Miles tends to it, spins in the left circle, bangs it off the back wall, and it rolls all the way back for Portillo to get it organized for Michigan, and we go to full strength. Good kill there by U of M. Inside the right point, here's Fantilli. Centering pass broken up by a diving Ohio State defender. Fantilli picks it up left of the net. Steers it to the left wing for Brindley, who's fresh out of the penalty box. Stripped of the puck by Ohio State's Cole McWard. And here comes Ohio State from right to left over the Michigan line. And it's intercepted away by Michigan's Keaton Pearson, who moves to center with 6:45 and ticking in the second period. We're scoreless here in Cleveland. Puck careens behind the Ohio State goal line. And we've got no icing here as Ohio State looks to break the forecheck. And holding here for the Buckeyes in the cream sweaters, silver helmets, and red shorts is Ohio State's Tyler Duke, playing in his hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. He's from nearby suburb Strongsville. Michigan tries to wobble it out of their own end now. Ohio State with 5 on the forecheck. In the right corner of the O-zone, coming away with it is Treelord. Tried to center it out to McWard. It got tipped by a stick that was off of Brendan Miles, and back on it is McWard. At neutral ice, Michigan sprinting back for the puck. On it is Seamus Casey, the freshman from Canada. Exits out to center. Over the right side of the Ohio State line is TJ Hughes. Top of the right circle, leads it for Fantilli. Centers it back for Hughes, and it got knocked wide aside. Leslie over the red line. Here's Ohio State at 2-on-1. Top of the left circle, shot, and a goal! It's Cole McWard scoring the first goal in the first ever face-off on the lake. 1-0 Ohio State with 5:39 left in the second.
Here come the fireworks in FirstEnergy Stadium, and the crowd is getting hyped by the players as well. That was off the transition, 2-on-1, odd man rush for Ohio State, and Cole McWard giving the OHIO right now, Tyler, to the crowd, and here comes everyone starting to cheer, and that was a great goal. It was a 2-on-1 backdoor pass right to McWard, and he did not miss. As we get a look at the replay here, going to McWard, entering the zone, and he did not miss.
Assist to Jaden Leslie. That's the 4th goal for Cole McWard, 15th point altogether. Michigan down 1-0. They skate from left to right, and puck is whistled dead as Luca Fantilli got caught on the face mask of an Ohio State player that appeared to be Jaden Leslie. So a quick stoppage in play with 5:31 left in the second period. But again, there's that right circle to left circle feed. Leslie to McWard, and he finished it off, beating Eric Portillo.
And you could tell, I think, that whoever had the fireworks button's been waiting to use that all day.
That's been something they've been waiting for, and they finally get it. Left circle shot goes in from the point, and it didn't get to the net as Marcus Stappa clears out to the red line. So you get another look at Cole McWard. He's got his 4th goal on the year. He leads the team in blocks, but now he's got his 3rd point on the year against Michigan.
And he has the OH as his eye black on his cheeks today as well. So he is giving such a great opportunity here for him to have that, and he has been a big part of this team all season long.
Ohio State wins the faceoff at neutral ice. They shoot in, gloved away by Portillo. Off to the right corner, Ohio State on the forecheck. Michigan getting it away in their own left wing. They try and go out to the blue paint. It's knocked away by Ohio State, and it rolls to the right of the center circle for Moyle, who takes a hard check into the glass. With 5 minutes left in the second period, and we still get some more motions adjourning in the left corner. That was a hard hit. Perhaps can we see that whistled for a penalty?
It doesn't look like that's going to be the case right now. Or no, there will not be a penalty. The officials are just going to let this one play out at this moment in time. And maybe unless there may be a challenge or something like that for a challenge of a hit to the head. But nonetheless, the ice crew is going to come back on here, and it looks like there's now an ice issue in front of the bench of both teams.
Clouds starting to set in. It's cloudy, it's chilly, no more sun, it's getting colder, and you'd think that the ice might freeze a little bit more and be more suitable to the conditions, but now the ice crew tending to it, and right now, nothing on the penalty front with 4:59 left in the second period, so a clean hit there, and that's what Ohio State and Michigan have been doing. They've been checking hard and checking cleanly.
Yeah, so what we're seeing right now, these big shards of ice are getting chipped out, and that's what we're seeing. Some of the people on the ice are carrying them, and the players, Tyler, are headed back to the locker rooms as they are going to have some time to work on this ice. The spot they were working on earlier had some problems. Again, the one right in front of the bench, there's these big shards that they're carrying around, which has proved some ice issues. So nonetheless, the players will head back to the locker rooms. I assume we're going to get a word from the Big Ten in a little bit of what's going to happen. I assume they're going to do the script of Ohio, work on this ice until they get it right, and then maybe play an extra 25 minutes. We will see how it all turns out.
So Ohio State, their marching band's going to come out of the gates to our right, while the ice crew's going to tend to the sheet along the near boards. Right now, this divot and the shards of ice with some water seeping through, they are on the near side boards along the right side of the neutral zone. So as Zach just mentioned, perhaps we could see some extra time and an extended third period, but we will get you monitored and see. They're going to put 18 minutes on the clock, so we could see an 18-minute intermission, enough for the Ohio State marching band to play their set. But as of right now, it's 1-0 Buckeyes with 4:59 left in the second period, and the goal scored by Ohio State's Cole McWard, an assist to Joe Dunlap and Matt Cassidy.
And those shards of ice are continuing to come off here. So what we heard from the PA announcer, at this moment in time, they are going to go into the second intermission. The script Ohio will come on the ice, and then what is going to happen is they're going to play that extra 5 minutes or so of second period hockey. They may take a little bit of a break to switch sides, and then they're going to get going for the third.
So we'll step aside here on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. When we come back, it'll be 4 minutes, 59 seconds left in the second period clock, or an extended third period. Right now, Ohio State's marching band about to come onto the ice. Dark blue and gray pewter skies surround us here at FirstEnergy Stadium. The lights are on, sun setting here at FirstEnergy Stadium. And at the break, it's Ohio State 1, Michigan 0 on the official student radio home of Ohio State Athletics.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half off margs and dollar off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays, parked right outside the RPAC.
Tune into the Block O Show, presented by Barrio Tacos, for an inside look at the 2022-23 Ohio State football season. Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio team of football broadcasters previews each week of the Buckeyes football season, featuring opposing reporters from student journalists across the country. Listen to the Block O Show, presented by Barrio Tacos, every Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hi, this is Caleb Spinner.
And this is Tyler Danburg.
Together, we co-host the Ohio State of Mind, Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's podcast covering all things Ohio State athletics. Join us Mondays and Fridays as we recap and preview every Ohio State sporting event from the past week.
We also talk to current and former Buckeye athletes in our interview series Behind the Buckeye. Follow the Ohio State of Mind on Twitter at State of Mind OSU for more information on the show.
We hope to see you there, but for now, that's the ad. We're out of here.
Hey, Buckeye fans, Zachary Rodier here, the podcast coordinator for Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Here to tell you that if you want to listen to post-game coverage of your favorite Ohio State athletics, make sure you subscribe and listen to SGSR Recap, where post-game coverage of all the big games, including football, big hockey, basketball, and everything around will be on SGSR Recap in case you miss post-game live on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. So make sure you listen to SGSR Recap on your favorite listening platform on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hey Buckeye fans, this is Patrick Engels, president of the Sports and Society Initiative Student Club. Are you interested in pursuing a career in sports and hearing from professionals who work in the sports industry? If so, then come find us in room 274 of the Journalism Building for SSI's bi-weekly meetings. Join us every other Monday at 7:30 p.m. to hear from qualified guest speakers who work in sports throughout Columbus, Ohio, and beyond. For questions regarding our club, please contact myself, our treasurer Jacob Benj, or our advisor Dr. Nicole Kraft. Go Bucks!
This is Matt Goldman, Vice President of SGSR, and you're listening to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, the official student radio network of Ohio State Athletics.
Coming soon to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, Season 2 of the Nothing But Nylon podcast with Gabe and Tyreek, covering all things Ohio State men's basketball.
Bringing you news, analysis, and more. Episodes will be coming to you every Tuesday starting November 1st. We hope to see you soon on Nothing But Nylon. Peace.
Hey everyone, my name is Jack Murphy, and I'm one of the co-hosts of The Nightcap, a new podcast here at Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Join me and my co-host Sam Cerrone every week for a discussion about the current state of sports and an interview with one of the top members of the Ohio State athletic community. We have a new podcast every Wednesday, and you can get us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Go Bucks!
Zachary Rodier here, host of 614 Check on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's Podcast Network. We're the only dedicated podcast talking about the Ohio State men's and women's ice hockey teams and the Columbus Blue Jackets. In each episode, we will cover everything you need to know in the NHL and NCAA surrounding the 614 hockey area code, and we will have exclusive interviews with the best 614 hockey personalities, including players, media personnel, and journalists. Listen to 614 Check, linktr.ee/614check, 4check spelled FORECHECK. Hope to see you there.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half off margs and dollar off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays, parked right outside the RPAC.
Tune into the Block O Show, presented by Barrio Tacos, for an inside look at the 2022-23 Ohio State football season. Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio team of football broadcasters previews each week of the Buckeyes football season, featuring opposing reporters from student journalists across the country. Listen to the Block O Show, presented by Barrio Tacos, every Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hi, this is Caleb Spinner.
And this is Tyler Danburg.
Together, we co-host the Ohio State of Mind, Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's podcast covering all things Ohio State athletics. Join us Mondays and Fridays as we recap and preview every Ohio State sporting event from the past week.
We also talk to current and former Buckeye athletes in our interview series Behind the Buckeye. Follow the Ohio State of Mind on Twitter at State of Mind OSU for more information on the show.
We hope to see you there, but for now, that's the ad. We're out of here.
Hey, Buckeye fans, Zachary Rodier here, the podcast coordinator for Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Here to tell you that if you want to listen to post-game coverage of your favorite Ohio State athletics, make sure you subscribe and listen to SGSR Recap, where post-game coverage of all the big games, including football, big hockey, basketball, and everything around will be on SGSR Recap in case you miss post-game live on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. So make sure you listen to SGSR Recap on your favorite listening platform on the...
This is Patrick Engels, president of the Sports and Society Initiative Student Club. Are you interested in pursuing a career in sports and hearing from professionals who work in the sports industry? If so, then come find us in room 274 of the Journalism Building for SSI's bi-weekly meetings. Join us every other Monday at 7:30 p.m. to hear from qualified guest speakers who work in sports throughout Columbus, Ohio, and beyond. For questions regarding our club, please contact myself, our treasurer Jacob Benj, or our advisor Dr. Nicole Kraft. Go Bucks!
This is Matt Goldman, Vice President of SGSR, and you're listening to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, the official student radio network of Ohio State Athletics.
Coming soon to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, Season 2 of the Nothing But Nylon podcast with Gabe and Tyreek, covering all things Ohio State men's basketball.
Bringing you news, analysis, and more. Episodes will be coming to you every Tuesday starting November 1st. We hope to see you soon on Nothing But Nylon. Peace.
Hey everyone, my name is Jack Murphy, and I'm one of the co-hosts of The Nightcap, a new podcast here at Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Join me and my co-host Sam Cerrone every week for a discussion about the current state of sports and an interview with one of the top members of the Ohio State athletic community. We have a new podcast every Wednesday, and you can get us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Go Bucks!
Zachary Rodier here, host of 614 Check on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's Podcast Network. We're the only dedicated podcast talking about the Ohio State men's and women's ice hockey teams and the Columbus Blue Jackets. In each episode, we will cover everything you need to know in the NHL and NCAA surrounding the 614 hockey area code, and we will have exclusive interviews with the best 614 hockey personalities, including players, media personnel, and journalists. Listen to 614 Check, linktr.ee/614check, 4check spelled FORECHECK. Hope to see you there.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half-off margs and $1 off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio Tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays, parked right outside the RPAC.
Tune into the Block O Show, presented by Barrio Tacos, for an inside look at the 2022-23 Ohio State football season. Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio team of football broadcasters previews each week of the Buckeyes football season, featuring opposing reporters from student journalists across the country. Listen to the Block O Show, presented by Barrio Tacos, every Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hi, this is Caleb Spinner.
And this is Tyler Danburg.
Together, we co-host the Ohio State of Mind, Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio's podcast covering all things Ohio State athletics. Join us Mondays and Fridays as we recap and preview every Ohio State sporting event from the past week.
We also talk to current and former Buckeye athletes in our interview series Behind the Buckeye. Follow the Ohio State of Mind on Twitter at State of Mind OSU for more information on the show.
We hope to see you there, but for now, that's the ad. We're out of here.
Hey, Buckeye fans, Zachary Rodier here, the podcast coordinator for Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Here to tell you that if you want to listen to post-game coverage of your favorite Ohio State athletics, make sure you subscribe and listen to SGSR Recap, where post-game coverage of all the big games, including football, big hockey, basketball, and everything around will be on SGSR Recap in case you miss post-game live on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. So make sure you listen to SGSR Recap on your favorite listening platform on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hey Buckeye fans, this is Patrick Engels, president of the Sports and Society Initiative Student Club. Are you interested in pursuing a career in sports and hearing from professionals who work in the sports industry? If so, then come find us in room 274 of the Journalism Building for SSI's bi-weekly meetings. Join us every other Monday at 7:30 p.m. to hear from qualified guest speakers who work in sports throughout Columbus, Ohio, and beyond. For questions regarding our club, please contact myself, our treasurer Jacob Benj, or our advisor Dr. Nicole Kraft. Go Bucks!
This is Matt Goldman, Vice President of SGSR, and you're listening to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, the official student radio network of Ohio State Athletics.
Coming soon to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, Season 2 of the Nothing But Nylon podcast with Gabe and Tyreek, covering all things Ohio State men's basketball.
Bringing you news, analysis, and more. Episodes will be coming to you every Tuesday starting November 1st. We hope to see you soon on Nothing But Nylon. Peace.
Hey everyone, my name is Jack Murphy, and I'm one of the co-hosts of the night.
Welcome back to FirstEnergy Stadium as the number 10 Ohio State Buckeyes are taking on number 4 Michigan, and we have a little bit of an update for you guys watching on SGSR TV and Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio right now. So what's going to happen, 4 minutes and 59 seconds remain on Ohio State's and the Michigan Wolverines' second period action. So they're going to play that after they get the ice fixed and underway. It says only around 5:26 left in ticking in this intermission. I think we're going to have a little bit more of a break here, Tyler and Matt, who are joining me here on the intermission report. And then there's going to be a 2-minute break between the second and third periods. So what's going to be happening right now, that is what we know according to Big Ten and Ohio State Athletics. Now, Tyler, what were your thoughts right now on this second period so far?
Well, Zach, we got to talk about that goal from Cole McWard. It was courtesy of a breakaway. It was a 2-on-1 nifty feed there from right circle to left circle, assists to Joe Dunlap and Matt Cassidy. How about Matt Cassidy? 2 points in this series with the goal in Game 1, the assist in Game 2. So things coming together for Ohio State, and now they're able to build and establish it on that. So my thoughts, that goal, sometimes one goal is all it takes to break the ice.
And Matt, we've been waiting for that goal all night, afternoon, day long, as it's now getting into the nighttime as the sun is setting. What were your thoughts on how can this goal open up things for both teams now?
Well, now that one's in, the floodgates are open, right? I mean, this is going to be a really – these teams are going to start flying on this side, especially as Michigan starts to get desperate here. There's still plenty of time left. We got about 25 minutes of hockey action. Let's say this goes 5 minutes more into the third period, 10 minutes more, and there's still no more scoring. Teams are going to get desperate, and teams are going to look for opportunities, and there's going to be more opening up for Ohio State on the defensive or on the offensive side as Michigan's defense turns more into offense.
And right now we're at around 31 degrees is the feel-like temperature. That's really good for the ice right now that they're trying to get things underway. Again, Tyler, it was shards that were just chipping out of the ice as the lights are getting turned off here at FirstEnergy Stadium. The classic air passenger thing where they turn on the flashlights and will go back and forth. But one thing has been the penalties all game long. We've seen a lot of those here, Tyler. But one thing right now, as you have your flashlight off, the people on SGSR TV can see that as well. It's very important that both teams have gotten penalty kills and have not allowed a power play goal. What has continued to have that penalty kill for both teams continue to have success?
Well, I think we've just been seeing a lot of great clearances. We're seeing a lot of back checks, great defense. That's the key to a great penalty kill. Tight defense, if you can get your stick on the puck, just quickly getting it out of the defensive zone. Neither team is wasting any time when they get the puck in their hands. They're just able to chip it out to center ice or get it to the opposite end and just slow things down and take off more time on the power play.
And that's been really crucial, and we'll see how the penalties continue to go here, if that will make a difference. But Matt, right now, what do you think this little bit of momentum change, which we're going to have a little bit of second period action left, then a quick break, how can teams manage that to make sure that it doesn't break up their momentum? Especially this has to go to the disadvantage of Ohio State, who had a goal, were riding high in that second, and then lose the momentum.
Yeah, Zach, you're saying it exactly right. This can really be both a blessing and a curse for both teams, and it really depends on how they come out, and it's what their coaches are saying to them and how they can get them fired up. Because listen, when you have to sit there in the locker room and game is suddenly pulled away from you, this is an abnormal situation. It's not, okay, we played 5 more minutes and now we're going to the second period like we expected. This is something that none of these players are used to, and it's going to take a strong mental, especially in a rivalry game, to not only keep their heads but keep the momentum that each team was forming and what they felt they were building on the attack.
So we will step aside here on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio for just a few seconds for station identification. Then I'll hand it back to Tyler Danburg to take care of the rest of the second period action. And then we'll have a 2-minute break and get into the third period. You're listening to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, the official student home of Ohio State Athletics.
So you heard the station identification. That's Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, the official student radio home of Ohio State Athletics. Tyler Danburg, Zachary Rodier, Matt Kendig, Caleb Spinner with you on this cloudy evening now here in Columbus. It's 6:08, and we still have a little bit left in this second period. For those just tuning in, Ohio State scored at 14:21 in the second period, and then about a minute and a half later, shards of ice broke out on the rink that is in front of us, that spans from the 20-yard line to our left to the 20-yard line to our right here at FirstEnergy Stadium, and that resulted in a stoppage of play, an intermission, and then we will restart things with the Buckeyes up on the Wolverines 1-0 in Game 4 of the season series, a series in which these teams are tied up at 1 win apiece to go with the tie from Thursday night. So, Zach, what are we expecting here when things resume here on the ice?
I think we're going to see a lot of fast-paced action, and we're trying to find out right now what the rules would be if the Big Ten did have to call this game, if there are issues in the future with this ice. But it looks like the Zambonis are done for this game, so it will be a big test for this ice to have
So 4 minutes, 59 seconds will be on the second period clock. So we will have a very short break period. So 5 minutes left. Left circle face-up is down in Ohio State's defensive zone. We're at full strength. It's won by Jake Wise for OSU. Michigan on the forecheck, they bring pressure. The forechecking, Rucker McRorty with a shoulder check into the right corner glass on Cole McWar. Ohio State exits, they clear down the right side of the ice. It rolls into the corner, takes a kick off the boards, rolls off the left tape and out to the right point. Now down to the left, into the corner, out to the circle is Gildon. Center point, Lori, a wrist shot blocked in front, turns back on it. Backhands it off the right corner boards. Flipped into the grasp of a Michigan defender, cleared away by Brindley, then it's held back in by Ohio State. Here's McWard dancing to the left circle, shoots in, now centers to the right circle, kicks away from Wise, regathers. Ohio State with it, 4:15 to go. Second period, they lead 1-0 on number 4 Michigan. Ohio State number 10 in the country. Buckeyes 5-on-5, left circle, with it is Singleton, jukes to the slot, gloved away by the Wolverines, held back in at the blue paint, and we're going to get perhaps a penalty upcoming with 4:01 left in the second period and a 1-0 Ohio State lead. It was signaled by the referee. A penalty in Ohio State appears to be going on the power play.
Well, this will just be a hand pass, actually, as the official, he was raising his hand a little bit for the penalty, but then he just went for the hand pass motion instead, so play will continue.
Perhaps the differentiation between the hand pass signal and the tripping signal. So now it's still 5-on-5. Ohio State dumps in behind the Michigan net where Eric Portillo watches over. He stands at 6'6" as he watches the Wolverines clear it out to the center line. Wolverines on the right side of neutral ice. They thrust it around the Ohio State cage. Behind is Duke. Backhands it off the boards against the 5-man Wolverine forecheck, but Ohio State clears to center. 1-0 Buckeyes, 3.5 to play, second period, and face-off on the lake here in Cleveland. Wolverines skating into the slot.
Some contact and a shoulder check and some extracurriculars along the near boards as Joe Dunlap and Mackie Samaskevich are tied up off the whistle and off the puck.
Samaskevich, I believe we're going to get a replay on this. He went into the Buckeye bench. I want to double check that before we confirm, but Samaskevich will head to the Buckeye or the penalty box for his team. It'll be a cross-checking penalty.
Cross-check on Samaskevich. That is now the 9th penalty of this game. 3rd of the second period. Ohio State on the power play. What are you looking for them to draw up 1-0 on the man advantage?
Well, they're still looking for their first power play goal. They have to puncture that box that Michigan has done so well throughout this entire series. If they can start passing cross crease, then they could have some advantage.
Face off to the right of Portillo, won by Ohio State. Inside the blue line, down the middle is Loride. Has it on his stick. He shoots left-handed. He's being shadowed by Estapa. Outside the right wing. With it, Ohio State looking for options. To the right side of the net is Wise, throws it in, and it's blocked off the right pad of the goaltender Portillo. Back on it is Wise, loses it at the left point. Michigan looking for a short-handed chance. They clear it to the center line where it's turned back aside by Treelor. Over the right side of the Wolverine line is Gildon. Down to Treelor, centering pass is shot in the goal! Ohio State scores on the power play, the first of the series. And for the Buckeyes, it's Jake Wise to make it 2-0 with 2:49 left in the second.
Tyler, finally a power play goal in this series, and you can see how important that was to Jake Wise. The crowd is in it, the fireworks, and he will remember that moment forever. It was off as Jake Wise was walking in, and it was Treelor who gave the pass cross crease, and it just went off Wise for the redirection, puncturing that box structure.
And after 18 penalties in this series, finally on 19, Ohio State strikes in the power play. And it's 2-0 off the goal by the captain, 5th year, Jake Wise. And now Michigan trailing by 2 goals, the largest margin they've trailed in this season series since they were down by 2 goals in a 7-2 eventual victory in Game 1 of the season series at Yost Ice Arena in Ann Arbor. So the Wolverines get it organized, thrown in front of the net, kicks off their own player in Estapa. Dragged back in behind the Ohio State net, tending to it inside the left point, and throwing it back in once more is Jackson Halem. So Ohio State moving it to center. Along the left side of the neutral zone is Wise, loses it at the point. Held back in by Michigan, and Ohio State changes in full with a minute 55 and ticking. So here comes Michigan down the left wing side. Loose to the slot, and the Buckeyes work it as falling to the ice is a player. And now Michigan going from left to right. A one-on-one chance, a shot, and a save by Jakub Dobeš. Gloves it in as the Wolverines try to get a counter rush, a shot. And Rucker McGroarty is denied by Jakub Dobeš, who keeps his shutout alive with 2:37, now 1:41 left in this second period.
He's been playing a great game this entire time, and for a goaltender, it's difficult with a lot of new environment and a lot of fans around to stay focused, and he has done so. And for the goaltenders too, a long pause, it's not easy to stay engaged.
Face off to the right of Dobeš, a shot went in, rebound shot by McCroarty, and he scores! Michigan is on the board. Wolverines pull within 1, and we'll see if the goal goes for Gavin Brindley or Rucker McGroarty. It was thrown in from the right point by Brindley. McGroarty tipped it in. And it's 2-1. Ohio State with a minute 36 left of the second.
Jakub Dobeš, and no one saw where that puck was. Michigan started celebrating, and it was right off the face-off, Tyler, as it looks like it went very quickly in and out of that net, and we both really didn't see that one quickly because it's hard to see in this outdoor environment.
9th goal for the freshman, Gavin Brindley. And Ohio State's up by 1. So we saw no scoring in the first period. Now 3 goals over the last 5 minutes, all since we resumed after the broken shards of ice were on the rink. Now a hard check on the left side of the neutral zone by McWard for Ohio State. Wolverines possessing, hard crash behind the Buckeye net. Falling into the kick plate was Rucker McGroarty, and he took a hard fall head first with his navy blue and maize helmet, crashing against the Big Ten Conference logo behind the Ohio State net.
And it now looks like Mason Lori is going to head to the box, so Wolverines with a chance to tie.
And this is a big momentum swing for the Wolverines. Not only did they get that goal from Brindley, but now they're on the power play. So what is the recipe for success on this man advantage for the Wolverines with the final minute of the second period?
Well, one power play goal has already been scored, so Michigan can now say we can do the same thing. And, you know, it was a holding call on Mason Lori, and now the Wolverines, they understand with how things have gone in this game, it's time for them to try and tie it.
Along the right point, Seamus Casey drops it off, then lost it. Here's Ohio State 2-on-1, shorthanded. Over the blue line, a shot, a save, rebound shot, and it's denied with Jaden Leslie taking the two rips, and then Ohio State scores! It's Tyler Duke! It is hometown of Strongsville and Cleveland, and he fires it past Eric Portillo. A short-handed goal for Ohio State. That is their 10th on the year, and it's 3-1.
The power kill coming for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Coach Rollick says special team wins games. Well, right now it is helping them with the lead. A power play goal, a shorthanded goal. That was right off the draw, and they quickly came the other way as Ohio State broke through. Tyler Duke off the rebound, had the shot right at the hash marks and buried it in. And man, Tyler, his family, they're going to remember that one for a long time.
He lived in Cleveland till he was 10. He moved to Michigan. His brother plays for the Wolverines. This has been a special series for him. His family has over 410 members and friends in attendance this Saturday afternoon. And now the Wolverines with the puck, trailing by 2. 3-1 Ohio State storybook there for Tyler Duke. Puck rolls down the left-hand side. Ethan Edwards takes to it. In his own net, plays it ahead for his teammate, Halem. Leaves it back for Edwards at his blue line. To the red line, over the Ohio State line along the right side is Brindley, the lone goal scorer for Michigan. Here's the Buckeyes behind the net, chipped high out the glass by the Buckeyes' Cam Thiesing, and now it's 3-1 Ohio State as we have played 2 here in Cleveland. We go to the third period with 55 seconds left on the power play. And so, Zach, to recap here, we've seen everything in this second period. Ohio State scored 14 minutes into the second period. It was a goal by Ohio State's Cole McWard. We had a stoppage in play for over 10 minutes because of some ice being broken down below us. Then the Buckeyes get things restarted. A goal by Jake Wise. Then Michigan gets on the board to make it 2-1. Then a shorthanded goal by Tyler Duke. With 19:10 left in the second period, the hometown kid strikes, and that's where we go into the intermission. What a wild sequence.
It's been a crazy second period, Tyler. There's been a lot of action, and you've got to be on the call for it. It's been a great moment to see how everything has turned out, see the emotions from the players when they score these goals, and the crowd getting into it. It's been a sight, and so lucky to be here tonight.
So I'll give it off to Matt Kendig. Zachary Rodier will take us home for the third period action after 2. It's 3-1 Ohio State of the Faceoff on the Lake. You're listening to Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio.
Thank you. We're about to get started here. And live from a chilly Cleveland, Ohio at FirstEnergy Stadium near Lake Erie. It is the face-off on the lake. Here at FirstEnergy Stadium, Zachary Rodier alongside me is Matt Kendig for third period action. As the Ohio State Buckeyes 3, the Michigan Wolverines 1. And right now, Matt, this is going to be a great third period. What can we expect?
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one here, Zach. As we just witnessed some incredible hockey there those past 5 minutes. Teams came out after the break, and it was just electric hockey. Both teams prepared. Both teams talked it over with their coaches. Obviously came out with a game plan, and all of a sudden we go from 0-0 to 3-1.
So the puck is dropped here in third period action, and we're live from a chilly Cleveland, Ohio at FirstEnergy Stadium. Zachary Rodier alongside Matt Kendig at Cleveland, Ohio, right on Lake Erie here as the Michigan Wolverines enter the zone on the far side. Backhanded down. Back to a defenseman. It is Ethan Edwards as he spins right in front at the blue line near side. Tries and rips one through, and the Buckeyes and Scooter Bricky able to block that one. Tyler Duke on the far side corner, trying to get it out of the zone, unable to. Back to Edwards, whose shot on the near side corner goes wide. Ohio State, Tate Singleton, right in front of the Buckeye bench. Here come the Wolverines entering back in. Looking for it now is Estapa. It's Patrick Guzzo looking for the other side. Here comes Gilnall back in. Shot and a save by Portillo on the near side. And this stays a 3-1 game for the Buckeyes, 16-21 in the third.
Well, the Buckeyes finished killing off that penalty, and what do? Go right back on the attack, Zach. It's been pressure on Portillo today. And what it's really started off with is these face-offs. They're now leading 41-13 in this game, and these are just incredible numbers. Jake Wise, 17 for 25 for the Buckeyes, and they're starting breaks like that. They're holding possession, and they're getting shots on net, and it's been working so far, especially at the end of that second period.
So now the Buckeyes will have a face-off on the far side. Stephen Halliday lost it, and here come the Wolverines looking the other side. It's Estapa who tries to walk in. He chips it in. Far side looking now for Nolan Moyle. Moyle has it behind Jakob Dobesh on the offensive side for the Wolverines. Sliding back to the defense there as a ripped shot from Moyle goes right at the far side circle, and Dobesh is able to gobble it up.
Moyle, a guy who has 6 goals in his career against the Buckeyes. He knows how to play against this team. He loves the rivalry. A very tenured player, a fifth-year senior. Tried to have a nose for the goal on that one too. Just couldn't find it. Dobesh playing incredible right now.
As Hail to the Victors playing for the Michigan Wolverines and their athletic band. 16 minutes left in third period action. Ohio State 3-1. Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio at FirstEnergy Stadium on Faceoff on the lake. As that puck shot right off the faceoff from Dylan Duke goes into the end zone. So we will get a faceoff draw again.
Yeah, another faceoff, another chance for Ohio State to keep the pressure going. Ohio State doing very well on the faceoff so far, but a Michigan win here.
TJ Hughes won the faceoff. Shot goes from the Wolverines side, and Dobesh is able to make the save. Here comes on the far side blue line. Matt Cassidy able to chip it out. Dunlap gets the save, and another one by Patrick Guzzo right in front of Eric Portillo is saved. And it stays a 3-1 game at 15:40 for Ohio State 3-1.
We saw a shorthanded goal today, Zach, but Ohio State's been doing that all year. 10 on the season, like you mentioned in the second period. Patrick Guzzo's got 2 of them, and that speed that he just showed right there on that breakaway attempt, all of a sudden it goes straight from their own defensive zone to an attack opportunity. The speed that these wingers show on this Buckeyes team is incredible.
Jake Wise trying to tie up there for the faceoff. He is not able to win it as the Wolverines on the near side walk into the neutral zone, cross the red, chip it in. And now back on the far side, it'll be Scooter Bricky trying to fight it against there for Gavin Brintley. Buckeyes come away with it. Far side hash marks, chipping it out are Ohio State. It's now a race for the puck. Cam Thiesing's able to get the icing to be waved off on the near side of the offensive zone for Ohio State. Right at the goal line there. It's Adam Fantilli trying to chip it out, but Ohio State still having pressure. Looking forward is TJ Hughes trying to get it out, and he does on the neutral zone. Walking in is McWhorty. McWhorty lost it, and the puck will triple all the way back as the Michigan Wolverines will go back on to the far side of the neutral zone. They walk back in, far side circle, and a shot, and Jakob Dobesh reaches out with the glove and makes the save.
Yeah, Zach, and going back to a play right before that, Cam Thiesing gets laid out in the middle of the neutral zone ice. Frustration showing at no call, banging his stick on the bench as he goes off. Not happy with the refs on that one as tensions continue to grow, and just under 15 minutes left to go in this third period.
It's the Wolverines far side offensive zone faceoff for them. And that is Frank Nazar, who wins the faceoff. The Ohio State Buckeyes, though, are able to break out into the neutral zone on the near side near the benches. But it is the Wolverines who re-corral it and chip it in, but that will go down for an icing. Wolverines unable to change. Ohio State offensive zone faceoff.
Buckeyes continue to put on the pressure here with under 15 to go, Zach. Michigan really looking to get one in here and build some momentum. Time could start to be a factor here as the game goes on.
14:28 left in the third period. 3-1 Ohio State over Michigan. Far side offensive zone faceoff for the Buckeyes is lost, but they re-corral the puck on the near side neutral zone as Davis Burnside chips it back in. Looking for it was Luca Fantilli, who chips it back out, and it will not be an icing as Ohio State, the puck, and for Tyler Duke, I shall say, was able to get it back. Tate Singleton on the far side. Neutral zone lost it to the Wolverines as it goes back into the neutral zone, and it'll be Marooney who brings it back to Portillo for the Wolverines. Michigan walking back into the near side and the far side blue line as they cross in, and Jakub Dobish able to make the save with some extracurriculars right in front of him now.
Yeah, the game on ice has been playing out just like the football games do, just like the basketball games do, just like every sport between these two teams. Physicality, rough-nosed, hard hits, and it's just been electric, and in this environment, it's the perfect place for it. Like we said earlier, 45,000 in attendance today here at FirstEnergy Stadium, and it's just been an electric environment, electric atmosphere, and we've still got a lot more hockey to go here.
13:41 left in third period action. 3-1 Ohio State over Michigan right now, as the Ohio State Buckeyes will take a defensive zone faceoff on the far side. Looks like Guzzo will take it for Ohio State. And TJ Hughes lost that for the Wolverines. The Wolverines now have possession. And at the bottom far side circle, shot is saved by Dobesh, and it goes out of play. So we will redo this one here. 13:35 in third period action. 3-1 Ohio State over Michigan. Going to redo the faceoff here. They'll be on the far side defensive zone faceoff for the Buckeyes. Patrick Guzzo will take it against TJ Hughes as the net was dislodged, so the officials will try and get this back set.
Zach, it's been a shot-peppering game for Ohio State so far, but 8-2 in shots now in this third period in favor of Michigan. Michigan trying to turn the tides here.
The Wolverines win the face-off. Shot, a blocker saved by Dobesh. As the Wolverines fire another one in, that shot coming from Dylan Duke. It's now Colmick Ward on the far side hash marks, gets it out. Here come the Buckeyes. It's Patrick Guzzo. He walks in on the center, and it will be whistled down for an offside at 13:17 left in third period action. 3-1 Ohio State over Michigan.
Guzzo looked like he might have had an opportunity for the 2-on-1 there. Joe Dunlap's waiting at the blue line, but a little bit of a miscommunication. The offside's called, stifles the opportunity for the Buckeyes.
Face off on the lake here, FirstEnergy Stadium. Zachary Rodier alongside me is Matt Kendig, and we also have Tyler Danburg and Caleb Spinner as well, bringing you the action today on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Shot, and a nice save there by Portillo. That came from Cam Thiesing on the near side hash marks. And the puck will trickle back into the neutral zone near side. That was Gildon off there to Jake Wise, who chipped that back in. The Buckeyes looking to put pressure on here as McGroarty has the puck in his own zone. Goes back into the neutral zone. The Buckeyes will chase for the puck. Icing's waved off. Goes back to Scooter Bricky, off to Cam Thiesing. And it now goes to the Buckeyes again. It's Tyler Duke, who goes on the far side to the near side and lost the puck as the Wolverines will re-corral it again in their neutral zone as it's on the far side. Walking in are the Wolverines. As they look in now, it's Brindley, whose shot is going wide, and it's now back on the far side hash marks as the Buckeyes are able to chip it out, and it goes back to TJ Hughes in his own zone, sliding it back to Dylan Duke on the near side defensive zone for the Wolverines. It goes back to the Buckeyes side behind their own net. Now, It looks like it is Cam Thiesing who has it as he wakes on the near side at hash marks as he will try and give that back out to the Buckeyes who walk back in. Camille Sadlocha looks for Donna Maceda there, and that one does not go as the dots don't connect. On the hash marks was looking for the Ohio State Buckeyes, but it goes back into the neutral zone far side. Backhanding that one was Scooter Bricky, and the Wolverines walk back in, turned over. Here comes Travis Treelore, near side hash marks. Looking back, Treelore has it, waits and shoots that one on the near side hash marks, and Portillo makes the save. 11:32 left in third period action, 3-1 Ohio State over Michigan.
Well, Zach, about halfway through now in the third period, what could really start being a factor is this ice. We've seen a few players slipping just on their own, no contact whatsoever. And with no ice cut here, we played 5 minutes in the second, took a short intermission and kept going. Could see that as a factor here.
The puck is dropped as it is now nighttime as the sun has set. Halem had the puck for the Wolverines, walks in near side, and that will go back now. For Nazar, and a shot and a score for the Wolverines right in the center hash marks. And it's a 3-2 game at 11:14 in the third period. And it looks like that is going to go off to TJ Hughes, who got the tip right in front.
TJ Hughes, an electric shot there, and what could be a momentum-shifting goal. Just above halfway through this third period, and the Wolverines pull it within one. Anything could happen here in Cleveland.
We're going to get a double check on who scored that one, and it actually looks like it will be Ciccolini who stepped on the ice for the first time as he slid off right there from TJ Hughes. Ciccolini then came back on, and Eric Ciccolini getting his 6th goal of the season. And it's now a 3-2 game, 11:14 left in third period action. Face off on the lake here in Cleveland, Ohio. It'll be Patrick Guzzo looking to take the face off here. And it is won by the Wolverines. It looked like Brindley won that one. And it gets whistled down there. And we will get a whistle as that one, Ciccolini assisted by Jackson Hallam and Frank Nazar. And it will be an offside, so the faceoff will be on the far side, closer to the Buckeyes' defensive zone. Faceoff in the neutral zones, won there by Patrick Guzzo and the Ohio State Buckeyes, but here come the Wolverines again as they walk in. Wraparound chances denied. That one coming from Moyle. Jakob Dobesh says no. Far side chance is saved by Dobesh, and we will go to a power play for one of these teams here as Gildon crashing there with the looks of Moyle. And it looks like Moyle will head to the box and the Ohio State Buckeyes onto the power play.
Yeah, good opportunity here for the Buckeyes. Looks like they just got tangled up, ran into the boards together. They said it was Moyle's fault, and we'll go to a Buckeye opportunity to get that insurance goal and stifle any momentum that the Wolverines are building here.
10:54 left in third period action, 3-1 Ohio State and Michigan. The Ohio State Buckeyes win the faceoff. Lorai missed it, and he'll have to step back into the neutral zone on the near side. Sliding it back to Cole McWard. They're back in their own side of their defensive zone. It was Adam Fantilli who had a shorthanded chance there. That was denied by Dobesh. Wise looks for the Buckeyes to turn back in. Cole McWard enters. Looks there right in front of Treelore on the far side. Hash marks is denied by Portillo. Back to Wise. Top of the circle on the near side. Wise waits. Looks right in front to Treelore, who looks in front, and he scores! The Ohio State Buckeyes get the power play goal, and it looks like it was Stephen Holliday, and the Buckeyes are up 4-1. 4-2 as the fireworks flare at FirstEnergy.
Special teams has been so crucial for the Buckeyes all day, and that right there might be the exclamation point on it. The Stephen Halliday goal, the team leader in points, the team leader in power play goals. He's so crucial for this power play attack. He's so crucial for this Buckeyes attack, and he just gave Ohio State some insurance here with just over halfway to go in the third period.
Looks like Treelore may have, oh no, he did not. And here come the Buckeyes the other way on the far side hash marks. Was another chance. The Buckeyes now up 4-2 here at FirstEnergy Stadium. It would be a huge 3 points here for Ohio State. It is Gildon on the near side of the neutral zone. It trickles back to Michigan's side. And Ohio State trying to put on the forecheck here near side. Guzzo getting tied up. He goes down, no call. And the hash marks near side. It'll go back to Tyler Duke on the near side circle in the defensive zone for the Buckeyes. And they'll chip it off the boards. And it'll go back down to Seamus Casey, who walks back here in the neutral zone for the Wolverines on the far side. A 4-2 game right now here at FirstEnergy Stadium. It's going to be a one to remember here. Cam Thiesing on the near side, neutral zone. He walks in, shot blocker save by Portillo. Play continues. Buckeyes in their offensive zone, far side hash marks. Looking as here comes the Ohio State Buckeyes. It was Regula. Near side hash marks, offensive zone here. And the power play still looking for it, as that was a power play goal before. We're on 5-on-5 action now. Shot going from Regula is denied. 8:47 left in third period action. 4-2 Ohio State. Regula again, he waits on the blue line near side. Scoops into the hash marks. Goes back to Jake Wise, who lost it on the blue line. And it goes back in as Tate Singleton on the near side hash marks. And the puck will get put back into the field out of the ice territory, and we will get a whistle. 8:29 left at FirstEnergy Stadium in regulation. 4-2 Ohio State.
And Zach, when you're as physical of a team as Michigan boasts to be, you can struggle with penalty minutes per game, and that's exactly what they do. They boast the second most penalty minutes in the nation per game. And when you look back at this game, and when you look back at the momentum they were forming with just about 11 minutes to go in the third period, that Nathan Moyle penalty, the trip that he had on Scooter Bricky in the far side corner of the Ohio State defensive zone, really might pay dividends here. Now only 8 minutes to go. Time once again a factor when it wasn't, when you got the 3-2 game and the 1-goal differential. Now you're looking at a 2-goal difference, a tough opportunity, and Michigan has a lot of way to climb if they want to come back in this one with only 8 minutes to go.
We're going to step aside here on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio as the Buckeyes are up 4-2 in the third period at FirstEnergy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half off margs and $1 off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio Tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays, parked.
Welcome back to FirstEnergy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. The ice is still being worked on here. 8:29 left in third period action. 4-2 Ohio State in the third. And it looks like the ice crews are coming back on here, and another shard of ice has been dislodged.
Well, Zach, we want to give a shout out to the ice crew. They've been on point all day. It's been interesting conditions here on the ice, but it's been holding up. We've got only 8 minutes to go, and it was a tall task to ask for about 25 minutes of nonstop hockey, and it looks like we might have a quick stoppage of play, and hopefully it'll be resolved soon.
So let's take a look back at this game. So far, it was Cole McWard getting the Buckeyes up 1-0. Jake Wise making it 2-0 on a power play goal. Then Gavin Brindley made it a 2-1 game as the Wolverines inched back into this one. And then the Buckeyes shorthanded goal by Tyler Duke, 3-1. Eric Ciccolini making it 3-2. And then Stephen Halliday, second power play goal for the Buckeyes in this game, making it a 4-2 game. As the ice crew still working on the ice here as some smoke is being put on to try and get things settled.
Yeah, Zach, and then the name of the game today for the Buckeyes and their offense has really been timely opportunities. They haven't let Michigan even it up. They've let them get they came out to that early 2-goal lead, like you said, and every time Michigan came back and got one back, they pushed it back to 2. And that's where we're sitting at right now at 4-2. They haven't been able to get that second goal in a row and tie it up, and it's let Ohio State be in the driver's seat pretty much throughout since the second period goals that they scored.
So the Ice Crew seems like they have finished their job here, and we will get a face-off. Or no, there is another issue on the other side of the ice. This is the near side right at the hash marks. The Ice Crew going to continue to work on it here. And we will see how this all turns out. We're going to step aside here again on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio until the ice conditions are ready to play again, as the Buckeyes up 4-2 with around 8:29 left in the third period.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half-off margs and $1 off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio Tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays, parked right outside the RPAC.
Tune into the Block O Show presented by Barrio Tacos for an inside look at the 2022-23 Ohio State football season.
Welcome back here on SGSR TV and Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio. Zachary Rodier alongside Matt Kendig, the rest of our great crew, Tyler Danburg and Caleb Spinner. As the ice is ready to go, 8:29 left in third period action, 4-2, Ohio State over Michigan. Buckeyes win the draw. And that was Patrick Guzzo. Trickles back into the Buckeyes defensive side on the far side. It'll go back. Joe Dunlap trying to fight for it now. And it looks like it will go back to Nazar. And the Wolverines will welcome back into their offensive side. Far side looking for Brindley. And it will trickle back all the way. And the icing will get waved off as Portillo looks to play, as Cassidy was there as well. On the near side as Gildon fires that one through, hits the boards. Looks back now. Trying to get it off to Ethan Edwards, who went coast to coast, near side to far side. And it's back on the far side, near side again, as the Buckeyes will tag up and they will go to the penalty kill as a tripping call was right on the near side of the blue line, closer to the Wolverines bench.
Well, if you're Michigan, these types of penalties late in the game, it leaves the door just a little bit open. And you know 2 goals is not too hard to come by in hockey, especially when you have the momentum. So could be a timely penalty for Ohio State. We'll see how it plays out here.
Gildon, he will go to the penalty box for a tripping call, and the Wolverines back to the power play. Here comes Cam Thiesing near side. He's trying to fight for the puck, and he loses it as the Wolverines behind their own net and back into the neutral zone now. Looked like that was Dylan Duke trying to walk back in. As the Wolverines now behind Jakob Dobes, Jake Wise at the far side hash marks is able to get the clear for Ohio State. Tate Singleton gets the puck, slaps it off to Portillo on their side, and he'll go out of play. And a face-off, an offensive one for Ohio State on the near side, Matt.
Well, Zach, this +3 scoring margin that Ohio State boasts in special teams opportunities, they have the 2 power play goals today.
9 left in third period action, 4-2 Ohio State over Michigan. So it'll be a face-off right in front of the Buckeyes bench in the neutral zone. Closer to the Buckeyes defensive side, the Wolverines win the face-off. A 1:12 and ticking left on the penalty kill for Ohio State as they are able to get the clear, that one coming from Mason Lori. Portillo touching it up behind his own net, and sliding it back are the Wolverines as Halem lost the puck back in the near side, and he will have to re-corral it. Far side now in the neutral zone, looking for Brindley. On the near side, walking is McGroarty. Back now, looking is Pearson, and a rebound chance by McGroarty is denied by Dobish on the far side. Buckeyes are tripped up in the neutral zone, And no call as the Wolverines have it in the neutral zone near side. Looking for it now is Seamus Casey. Ohio State still trying to kill the penalty. 20 seconds left on the PK. 6:02 left and ticking in third period action. 4-2 Ohio State over Michigan. Here come the Wolverines near side walking back in. Right off the blue line, that was Adam Fantilli. But the Buckeyes able to get the clear. That was Tyler Duke that time. And going all the way back is Seamus Casey, who has it on the far side in his defensive zone. And the Buckeyes are back to full strength. Back into the neutral zone and firing that one in was Dylan Duke. Back far side, looking for Scooter Brickey now, who tries to exit out of the zone on the near side. Pressure and crunches of hits right in front of the Buckeyes bench as the Buckeyes walk back in on the near side of their offensive zone. Camp Deasing putting on the forecheck here against Stephen Holtz. As it goes back into the neutral zone, slipping and falling some Wolverine players there. And the Buckeyes will have it on the near side of their defensive zone. Looking is Matt Cassidy, near side corner. On the offensive zone for the Buckeyes, he lost it. And it'll go back now for Nick Granowich, who's getting some of his first ice time in this game. Buckeyes looking for it. Patrick Guzzo lost it in the center hash marks. And the Wolverines now on the far side. Neutral zone, entered it in. The Buckeyes have possession though. CJ Regula off the far side corner gets it back into the neutral zone. Jay Kiranen for the Wolverines chips it back in. Near side corner. Looking now is Cam Thiesing, who's able to get it out. And here come the Buckeyes on the rush. It's Matt Cassidy and now to Joe Dunlap. And that one is denied by the Wolverines defense. 4:14, excuse me, left in FirstEnergy Stadium third period action here in Cleveland, Ohio. 4-2, Michigan down to the Ohio State Buckeyes. It's behind Jakob Dobesh. McGordy slides it back on the far side near the blue line, and a shot from a defender for the Wolverines is denied and goes wide. Patrick Guzzo is able to get it out. Adam Fantilli will race for it now, but it'll get whistled down for an icing. Buckeyes unable to change, and offensive zone time. Face off now for the Maize and Blue.
Zach, we had a good flow there going. Good hockey being played, clean hockey being played off of the end of that Michigan power play and then going into the even strength play. But time setting in for the Wolverines. There's only 3:43 left to go and a 2-goal deficit that they're facing, as it looks like we'll stop play here for just a second.
Ohio State will take the timeout to rest their defenders. As remember, the Michigan Wolverines no longer have a timeout here, Matt, as a challenge in the first period, which feels like a very long time ago, was not successful. So now Ohio State will try and settle things down just a little bit. What do you think they are looking for with 3:43 left in the third period, up 4-2?
Well, if you're Ohio State, you need controlled, level-headed hockey, and you got to show some discipline here, because Michigan is going to come at you with everything they've got this last 4 minutes, and I'm sure that's what Coach Steve Rollick is telling them on the bench right now. You have to keep your heads in a rivalry game that's been physical all game. You've had bone-crushing hits, you've had penalty after penalty, and you just have to keep your head. You can't let it get too chippy. That's when things get dangerous for some opportunity to come. Ohio State needs to play their style of game to close out this one.
Ohio State looking for the 3 points here. Back in Wisconsin, the women's hockey team lost in overtime. They still need 1 point to clinch the Julianne Bai Cup. They will play tomorrow as the Wolverines and the Buckeyes here in Cleveland, Ohio. The faceoff is dropped and it'll trickle back as the Wolverines have the empty net. Portillo is out, and it is icing, so another offensive draw here for the Wolverines. 3:32 left, Matt. That is an early pull. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it tells you how much Michigan cares about this game, this environment. They want to come home with a win today. Some people were wondering, maybe now that they can't get the first seed, if they let up a little. No, they're going all out, and they're trying to win this one.
So the Buckeyes win the offensive draw. Looks back to McRorty as he had it for the Wolverines. Goes back to Edwards. Shot is saved by Dobesh. Rebound chance from TJ Hughes is denied by the checker pads of Jakob Dobish on the near side. So it will be 3:17 left in third period action, 4-2 for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Empty net on the other side.
I've been very impressed with Dobish this third period. Michigan pacing shots, doubling Ohio State's total here in this third period, and he's played stellar.
Faceoffs are 51-23, and now 24 for the Wolverines, as Dobish absorbs another shot there, that one coming from Edwards on the far side blue line. So now the Wolverines having a lot of time, 3:10 left in third period action, 4-2 Ohio State over Michigan. Be a face-off on the far side defensive zone for the Buckeyes. Jake Wise will take it for OSU. TJ Hughes lost it there. Now 6-on-5 now for the Wolverines as they have the empty net. Looks back McCrory. Looked back there for Edwards. And the Wolverines and Edwards lose the puck. Goes back into the Wolverines side in front of their wide open net. As they have the empty net right now, the Wolverines chip it back in. Near side, back to the far side now. Looking for the shot opportunity were the Wolverines right on the far side hash marks on Jakob Dobish, but it's Ohio State able to get the clear. Patrick Guzzo looking for bullseye, and it goes wide, rebound chance, and a penalty, or an icing will get called by the linesman. And it will go down for an icing, and it will be a no good call for the goal.
Yeah, and Zach, Ohio State's threatening there. Looked very close from Guzzo from right at the center circle. Joe Dunlap was streaking, but the icing stops the play. Almost a chance there.
2:23 left, third period action, 4-2 Ohio State. Scarlet Gray Sports Radio in Cleveland, Ohio. Patrick Guzzo wins the draw, defensive side for Ohio State on the far side. Ohio State now having it. It was Joe Dunlap looking for the empty netter. That one goes wide, down for an icing, as it's Jackson Halem who tags up for it, and a Wolverine face-off again on the offensive side. Buckeyes unable to get the change.
Well, the Buckeyes' active pursuit of the puck right now on the defensive side is forming these opportunities, even in a 5-on-6 territory with the empty net and the extra man for the Wolverines. They're the one that keeps ending up with the puck and these opportunities to close out the game here.
Near side draw in the Samaskevich and the Wolverines on their offensive zone. Samaskevich rips it, and the rebound chance by Halem doesn't go on the far side. Here come the Wolverines again. Tic-tac-toe in front. Dobish says no. Puck still loose. Nazar looking for it, and the Buckeyes are unable to get it out of the neutral zone. Block in front. That was Patrick Guzzo. Looking now for Ohio State, unable to get the empty net goal. 1:43 and ticking in the third period. 4-2 Ohio State over Michigan. Looking back to Halem. You hear boats in the background as a save is made by Dobish. And the puck will get whistled down here. We're starting to get some physicality here. Dobish getting included as well as Nazar goes down. Camden Thiesing giving some tough time to Nazar there. 1:30 left in third period action. 4-2 Ohio State, and that was all on the near side of the defensive zone for OSU.
Yeah, Zach, you might not be giving that hit enough credit for Cam Thiesing. He just went from the ground up and over on Nazar. It almost looked like WWE out there with 1:30 left to go in the third period. Things are getting chippy here in Cleveland.
Far side face-off, offensive one for the Wolverines. First warning for TJ Hughes. Wise will take it for the Buckeyes. The Wolverines win it. It's Adam Fantilli, the star for the Wolverines as a freshman, goes back to Brindley. Near side, hash marks. Adam Fantilli looks again, and Dobish says no. Continuing his strong game, Adam Fantilli on the near side hash marks is able to make the save, and it goes back. And a save by Dobish, and it trickles back into the field.
Well, there's a reason he was the 2022 Big Ten Goalie of the Year. There's a reason he's a semifinalist for it this year. what more can you say about Jakub Dobesh? It's been an incredible game with just about 1:12 to go here in the third.
It is 28 saves for Dobesh right now, as the Wolverines have it. Adam Fantilli right in front at the hash marks. Looking back to Edwards. Looking again, and that one goes wide. Less than 1 minute left in third period action. Empty net still for the Wolverines. It's Brindley on the near side, hash marks. Lost the puck there. Goes back, looking for it was McRory. McRory has it on the near side. Hash marks, and it will trickle all the way back, and TJ Hughes will tag up for an icing. 39.8 seconds left in regulation. 4-2 Ohio State over the Wolverines, and it is now 34 shots for Ohio State compared to the 37 for the Wolverines.
Desperation setting in for the Wolverines here. Need one now or never.
3 big points on the line for Ohio State and the Wolverines right now. Far side face-off at the circle. On the offensive zone for the Wolverines, they win it. At the blue line, far side, saved and blocked by Cole McWard. The puck will trickle back on the near side of the neutral zone. Looking for the empty net attempt was Tate Singleton. He lost it now. Goes behind the empty cage for the Wolverines. 20 seconds and ticking in regulation. Here come the Wolverines entering in. It's Brindley on the far side as it looks again. And the net will get dislodged and whistled down. 10.5 seconds left of the face-off on the lake as the Buckeyes are up 4-2 here on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio.
And these players getting a few last words out to each other here, as they know this might not be the last time they see each other. Both teams primed to make a run potentially in the Big Ten tournament coming up here starting March 3rd.
The greatest rivalry in all of college sports on ice here at FirstEnergy Stadium. Zachary Rodier alongside Matt Kendig, Tyler Danburg, Caleb Spinner as well. And it's going to be a near side face-off for the Wolverines in their offensive zone with 10.5 seconds remaining. It will be a face-off Fantilli versus Jake Wise. Fantilli wins it. Looking back to Brindley. Back now to McRory. And that will do it as the Ohio State Buckeyes win the face-off on the lake in Cleveland, Ohio. And everyone will go to Jakub Dobesh, crash him, and celebrate. It will be one to remember here for Ohio State. The fireworks go off, the fans cheer, and the Buckeyes win 4-2 in Cleveland. An outdoor game, the first ever outdoor victory for Ohio State. And more importantly, 5 out of the 6 points this series for the Buckeyes against number 4 Michigan. And this shows that the Buckeyes are getting ready for the playoffs, Matt.
And the Buckeyes are now in prime position and where they want to be heading into this Big Ten tournament. Those top 4 seeds being so crucial to give yourself the home field advantage, or excuse me, the home ice advantage in this Big Ten tournament in the quarterfinals. But the Buckeyes, who dropped points against Notre Dame, who dropped points against Wisconsin, they've been a little slumpy, but now a big series against Michigan. You come away with, like you said, Zach, 5 out of the 6 points. You've got Minnesota next week in Minnesota, and these are statement opportunities, and they just took one here today at the face-off on the lake.
So you talked about it. Ohio State will go on the road to Minnesota to end the Big Ten season. Michigan will host Notre Dame for their senior weekend to end the Big Ten season, as all the players in the beige, scarlet, and gray will go for Carmen, Ohio, in front of their bench. The student section, the Blocko there as well. And Matt, it has been an absolute treat to be here in Cleveland, FirstEnergy Stadium. There were some ice sharks going on the ice, some more delays, but nonetheless, this was a moment that many players will not forget. We will not forget this for a very long time. Thank you to the Big Ten for hosting this great tournament, the Cleveland Browns for hosting us, giving us a spot to be able to call this game. And it's been such a treat here. As the referees, they will take a picture to remember this moment forever, and we will lock it in as well. As Carmen, Ohio is sung here in Cleveland, Ohio. Brutus on the ice as well. And it was a great game as the number 10 Ohio State Buckeyes defeating the number 4 Michigan Wolverines 4-2, and an outdoor game to remember. here on Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio, SGSR TV as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. On behalf of my partner, Matt Kendig, the rest of our great crew, Tyler Danburg, Caleb Spinner, I'm Zachary Rodier saying it so long. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time as we say goodbye from Cleveland, Ohio and FirstEnergy Stadium.
Barrio Tacos is now open right in the heart of the Ohio State campus at 15th and High. Serving tacos and margaritas late night each night, Barrio has an incredible happy hour with half-off margs and $1 off tacos weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Don't forget, Barrio accepts Buck ID and is offering to-go and DoorDash. You can also catch Barrio Tacos inside the shoe during game days at Section 10A and at their taco truck Mondays to Fridays, parked right outside the RPAC.
Tune into the Block O Show presented by Barrio Tacos for an inside look at the 2022-23 Ohio State football season. Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio team of football broadcasters previews each week of the Buckeyes football season, featuring opposing reporters from student journalists across the country. Listen to the Block O Show presented by Barrio Tacos every Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the Scarlet and Gray Sports Radio Podcast Network.
Hi, this is Caleb